stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hello race fans and welcome to Sim Racing Media. We are live here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Old Glory 500 premier event being hosted here on Sim Racing Media. And tell you what, there's no better way to celebrate Memorial Day, the month of May, than here at Indianapolis. I'm Liam Irving. Up in the booth with me is going to be Chris Murphy and Joe Manella. How we doing, boys?
Doing good, Liam. You know, I was just looking around the booth here. This looks kind of familiar. Looks like I've been here before.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have you back here, Chris. It's been a while. I know you've been doing a lot of phenomenal stuff with the DRSN, and it's good to have you back here.
Well, appreciate you for the invite today, Liam. Looking forward to a good race here today. We got a bunch of good drivers, 500 miles. We're going to see who can stay out there for that long, and who has the strategy that's going to bring them home to the win.
Yeah, it's going to be a strategy one indeed. We're saying roughly 28 to 32 laps, but we saw in the iRacing 500 just yesterday and last weekend, I mean, if these guys go into super save mode, they could be up at, 35, 36 laps maybe. It's going to be tough. You're going to have to save a lot, but strategy will definitely be a factor.
Yeah,
Also got-
Liam, I can agree with you on that. You know, we have 2.5 miles of track, a lot of track to cover, and we do have 200 laps here at the Old Glory 500 as we celebrate Memorial Day and get ready for the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, it is going to be phenomenal. 200 laps here. We've got 20 drivers ready to do battle for $100 for the winner, 50 for second place. Third's going to get 25. We've also got a couple of bonuses, courtesy of Ancient World Gaming. $50 to the hard charger of the race, and another 50 for the halfway leader, meaning the winner of this race has the potential to win $200 if they start from the back. We're going to see if that's going to be any sort of strategy for these drivers as we move into the qualifying session.
10 minutes qualifying, and unlike what you're going to see the real Indy, where the 4-lap average right here, we're going to run 4 laps, but it's just going to take the best time. That'll put you up towards the front. Right now, we see Jeffrey goes a good pastor, and I'm glad we don't have a lot of foreign names in the field here today, because I struggle with that. I can't even say good pastor.
Yeah, good pastor. He's going to be one to keep an eye on. I've been in some races with Jeffrey. He is a very good driver. He's a clean driver, and he's got some speed. So he'll be one of the drivers we'll be looking out for today.
Yeah, a few drivers out on the racetrack now. Bobby Rafferty, Dale Greenwood, Tal Owen also finding their way out onto the speedway. Let's see who's going to set the best time, who's going to set the target.
Yeah, and we also have I believe a first-time Coke Series driver, and Daniel Falkingham just getting his contract signed, and he'll be running the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series, and we're glad and curious to see how Falkingham is going to do in these Indy cars.
Yeah, super excited to have him here and super stoked to see what he can do in the Coke Series. You know, he's been around these money leagues and kind of made a name getting that done, but today's going to be business as usual for him, just a little bit more distance between turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 than he might normally have.
Nice. Jeffrey Goodpasser to the top of the charts at a 39.112. Going to be the first driver to put a lap down here for qualifying.
Tal Owen going to go a little bit quicker here. Slides up a little in lap number 2. Bobby Rafferty now to the top of the board. Rafferty he's gonna pull it over, come back in, take another warm up, take another stab at it. Owen stays out this time at 230 miles an hour in the corner.
Yeah, we might see a few strategies here. You know, usually these tracks are 2-lap qualifiers with your second lap being your fastest. So we might see some drivers try and do that approach. We might see some drivers do a 1-lapper, reset, and then do another one. And be curious to see who ends up with the pole here.
Yeah, Rafferty on his second lap right now. He's got the top of the 38.765.
He's
and
aborting
he is he's aborting this one for sure. Going to come down to get warmed back up again. Goodpasser still on the racetrack, though. He's on his 4th lap right now. See if he can improve from his 4th starting spot.
Taking a look at Anthony Trippi, one of these Ancient World Gaming drivers. Currently slotted in the 7th position with his first lap. And another kind of benefit you have with it not being your 4-lap average, you only get these 4 laps, but like Rafferty did there, if something doesn't go quite right, if something feels off, you have the opportunity to come back in, kind of park it, reset. You don't really get to do that in real life, but these guys taking advantage of it to try to get the best starting spot that they can, because they know that 500 miles, it's going to be tough to make passes. It's going to be tough on pit lane, going to be tough everywhere.
Yeah, especially once these drivers start winding up in the front to keep these cars behind them out of the draft. We'll see a lot of zigging, a lot of zagging. Cars maybe catching a run. And with all that movement up front, all the way through the back of the pack, it could be potentially catastrophic.
And another thing to think about here is that hybrid system that these guys have. They can kind of regen getting into corners. use that hybrid coming up off of the corners to get some extra speed down the straightaways. Seeing Towel and Toll gets in there, 236, 237 down the back straightaway.
Gonna
That's somebody
improve on
we're
his
going to want
time
to
right
watch
there.
here. He really knows when to deploy that hybrid system.
Gary Wells going to come across the line, put himself fifth in the ninth with a 39.005. About 0.3 off the pace right now.
Owen improves, but matches Rafferty's lap time. Mike Robinson goes by Shaggy on his third lap, currently starting in 5th place. Miles Bagley jumps to the top of the board.
Miles Bagley. I know Miles Bagley from Super Speedway Racing. That's a great lap right there to 38.698. He is going to knock Rafferty down to second. His first lap, I don't know if you saw Bagley's first lap. It was like in 47 seconds. So I don't know if he was just taking a warm-up, maybe taking an extra wide to gain some speed. But he definitely paid off for him as he's going to go to the top.
See what Ian Adams can do on his final lap. He's currently sitting in 5th after Bagley jumps to the top. Adams going to be able to improve a little bit, but not enough to get in front of Greenwood. See what Gary Wells, he's going to park it on his final attempt.
Greenwood on his final lap here. He's about halfway through lap number 4. Off of turn number 2 down this long back straightaway. Let's see if he can move up in that 4th place. Be nice if we had a nice overlay that would show us the time as it's going. See what kind of pace he's on. I know somebody that can work on that kind of stuff for us.
I do too.
We've got 2 more drivers out on the track as well. We had Eric Dubai and we had Sam Hexeth out there running laps.
Dale Greenwood to the top of the board with that 38.66.
On his 4th and final lap right there, up to the top. We have a few drivers that haven't made it onto the racetrack yet. We see Charles Whitehood, Dwayne Drummond, Allen, and Falkingham. They've yet to make their way out onto the racetrack. Mettler made about half, almost a full lap and pulled in.
I wonder if these guys are, they're trying to go for that hard charger bonus. They know that's $50 that they're not going to get if they start in 1st or 2nd. Tony Myron going to complete his final lap, currently in the 9th position.
Hesketh out on the racetrack. Du Bois also, looks like Du Bois may be done with his 4 laps, but Hesketh is just going to start his first lap. Let's see if he can knock anybody out of the top. I'm assuming we don't have the option. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say 14 drivers have put down at least 1 qualifying lap. Most of those guys have finished their session. Miles Bagley took his 1 attempt, called it good. Trey Whitehead, Gary Wells only using 3 of their 4 laps, but when you park it on lap 3, you can't, or on lap 4, you can't come back out. Hesketh's first lap going to put him in 14th at 39.16.
He's going to need a big improvement here on lap number 2 if he is going to get out of that 14 starting spot. Jump on board, down into turn number 3. Right down to the bottom, right on the white line. You want to stay right down there through both ends of this corner right here. Come off of turn number 4, use up the racetrack. You don't want to pinch the car down to the bottom. Let's see if he can improve on his 14th spot here. He's 39.16 last lap by.
39.2 that time.
A little slower.
About a half a second off the pole speed right here for Hesketh.
Which truthfully isn't too. I mean, I think that says a lot about the talent level we've got up in this field. A lot of guys from a lot of different walks. We've got a lot of the Redline Racing Team members. We've got one of our own here with Sam at Sim Racing Media. Ancient World Gaming.
Let's see what Sam can do here on lap number 4. This is his last lap.
39.12. So he improves his time, but he's not going to improve his position. And that is going to about do it for us here in qualifying. Nobody else is going to have time to make a lap. So while we have a few seconds here, we're going to send it over to our good friend at Sim Racing Media, Pastor Dave, for today's invocation.
Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of racing. We thank you for the ability to compete against one another and to have fun. Lord God, we pray that everybody gets through this tonight and that they appreciate the freedom that we have because of the people who have sacrificed so much. Lord God, we ask that you bless these drivers from the crowns of their head to the soles of their feet. And as they wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness, Lord, let them know that you are at the center of all that we do right here. And it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
We appreciate you, Dave, for that. I was going to try to get a national anthem sung, but I think it's best if I don't do it myself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't have much of a singing voice.
But we do want to just say that we appreciate everybody who has served or who has lost a family member. You know, our armed forces have definitely provided us a lot of freedoms. And I think the month of May is a good time to remember them. And what better way to do that than by going racing?
Yeah, absolutely. As we celebrate Memorial Day, it's all about remembering those that have given the ultimate sacrifice, those members of the armed forces. You know, they get paid, but they're still volunteering to go into the military. And for me personally, who have, you know, close friends of mine who have served in the military, and they've, you know, lost their battle buddies, you know, whether it be, you know, in combat or while they're on duty or, of course, unfortunately, by suicide. You know, this day is to remember them, to remember the freedoms that they fought for us to have. And we are so thankful and grateful to be able to pay homage to our fallen soldiers.
It's going to be a great race, and I know it's kind of tough to segue from such a tough topic there, but it's time to go through our starting lineup. Rounding out the field today, Matt Metler. He's got Charles Whitehead to his inside in 19th. Dwayne Drummond, Kevin Allen. Daniel Falkingham and Eric Dubois, and it looks like Sam Hesketh's had himself an issue. Hesketh slated to start in 14th, Michael Self in 13th. Trey Whitehead, Gary Wells, Tony Meyering, Brock Whitehead, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Anthony Trippi, Ian Adams, Mike Robinson, Toll Owen, Bobby Rafferty, and on the front row, Miles Bagley and Dale Greenwood. Pace car's going to make that hard left turn. Green flag is out. We are racing here in Indianapolis. The Old Glory 500 is green.
As we see the 87 car, Miles Bagley wasting no time getting to the bottom behind Greenwood, looking to gain some track position and keep it. As we see him already making a move to try and go for the lead here. Down into turn number 3. Makes the pass on Greenwood. He'll be the leader of lap number 1 here.
Well, he's got a good chance at it. We'll see what Greenwood can do coming up off of the corner. Bobby Rafferty into 3rd place. Tango Toloan loses 1, goes back to 5th. Robinson moves into 4th, and here comes Bagley across the stripe. He does lead this first lap here in Indianapolis. Little bit of some shuffling going on here. Is one into the wall hard.
Looked like one of the Whitehead cars.
Yeah, number 30, Trey Whitehead, hitting the wall hard on that right front. He's unfortunately going to be more than likely out of this race. He's going to have a lot of damage as we stay green.
So quite a few drivers did not qualify. Look at Daniel Falkham, started back in 16th, already up to 7th here on lap number 2, coming through the field. He wants that $50 hard charger.
Yeah, up into the 7th position already, up 9 positions. Looks like Trey Whitehead's day is going to come to an end early on here in Indianapolis. Just 2 laps complete here out of 200, and you can see him already starting to swerve as they get single file down the back straightaway.
Bagley's done a good job getting out in front right now, trying to break the draft of Greenwood a little early for that. You might as well just kind of hang out right there, but you're going to see him serpentine down the front straightaway. You see this every year at Indy, every year I've ever watched anyway. And actually, Greenwood's just going to stay on the outside. He's not even going to follow him at that point.
Yeah, and these guys behind the leaders, they might want to just stay single file because that'll give them an advantage and close that gap.
Not to mention the fuel saving advantage. I mean, these guys are thinking about it from lap 1, right? You got a chance to go 28 laps if you're in the lead going full song, but if you're behind somebody, you're able to let off more into the corners. You're able to use that regen more than you use to deploy. I mean, you're going to be able to save at least a couple of laps. And throughout the course of 200 laps, 500 miles, you're really going to be able to get yourself an advantage. Here comes a move from Brock Whitehead, or from Ian Adams, rather, to the inside. Rather, that's Falkingham moving up to the front on Owen. We got another one getting up into the wall there.
That looked like Brock Whitehead. Looks like the Whitehead clan not having a bunch of luck there off of turn number 4, catching the wall there as well. Trey Whitehead still down on pit road getting some repairs. He'll be down there for about a minute and a half. Daniel Falkingham already up. Here we are on lap number 4 or lap number 5, already up 11 spots. He is his next victim in line is going to be the 26th of Robinson.
Whitehead comes into the pits. That damage going to be just a bit much for him. Going to have to come in and get that looked at. We do have the free pass and waiver rounds if it's needed. But unfortunately, damage like that in an IndyCar can be a long time to fix.
Yeah, these tires are really unprotected, so any type of damage to the axles, the toe links, all that stuff that's involved in the front suspension is definitely going to make the car unstable, vibrate, and you're going to lose speed drastically.
Take a look after 6 laps completed. Our biggest movers of the race, Daniel Falkingham, up 11 spots in 5th place. Kevin Allen up 4 spots. Dwayne Drummond, Matt Mettler all up 4. Shaggy's up 2. Sam Hesketh, unfortunately, did not get the start after a crash on the opening, or on the pace lap, rather.
Looked like he just might have disconnected there on that pace lap when I was watching, but Bagley doing a good job. He got out in the lead here, led lap number 1. He's led every single lap of this race so far. Greenhead trying to stay right there with him, or single filed here back about the top 10 cars as we normally see here at Indy. Greenhead going to take a peek into 1 to tuck back in line.
This all just kind of plays into Bobby Rafferty's hands. I know the style that he has. He's better at saving his tires, especially in a race like this. I know Falkingham is closing in on him. Same with Mike Robinson here, but Bobby Rafferty, definitely somebody who's good at running a race on older tires.
As you see Falkingham going down on the inside of Mike Robinson, side by side as they come out of the turn, getting ready to come out. Falkingham not quite able to get the edge he needed. He's going to need a few more laps to get in front of Mike Robinson.
Looks like he's got to
Got
run
him.
down into one right here. Back on the inside of Robinson. He's got the line this time. He's going to make the pass, move up into fourth.
Gets off with number 1 clean. Going to go into 2. Looked like Robinson there was trying to poke down and maybe look to the inside. Nothing doing right there. Robinson back to 5th. Toll Owen in 6th place. He's got Ian Adams behind him. Anthony Trippi in 8th. Tony Myrick in 9th. And Jeffrey Goodpaster rounding out your top 10.
I'll be keeping my eyes on the
We got
31
one
of
sideways right there.
Is that Metler on Metler? That looks like Whitehead on Whitehead right there.
Oh,
And around
man,
he goes.
around. He's going to save it.
Nice save there from Charles Whitehead, doing a little dirt track action there off of 4. Gonna save it right there, but
Definitely thought that was going to be our first caution of the day.
yeah, it sure looked like a nice save right there.
Eric
But
Dubois
unfortunately
with
for
some
the other-
damage as well.
And every day, all 3 cars we've seen damage limping to the pit so far has all been damage from that outside wall right front, and you can see the right front on Dubois' car right here, just barely hanging on, but he's going to be able to limp back to the pits, get some repairs done.
An unfortunate start for Eric Dubois, or Dubois. There's no U in there, so Dubois, I think, is right.
Dubois.
Miles Bagley continues to lead. He's starting to stretch it out a little bit over Greenwood. Meanwhile, Falkingham put down the quickest lap of the race of 40:43. Closing in on these race leaders, and he wants to drive away with this thing.
At this point, it does not look like it's going to be if Falkenham takes the lead. It's going to be when at this point. He is closing in on the back of Bagley and Greenwood at this time. Started back in 16th, 11 laps into this race. He's already up to 3rd. He is definitely charging for the front of this.
Yeah, I mean, with Falkingham have already gained 13 positions since the start. The question is, what's 2 more, right?
Yeah, 2 more puts him into the lead, and, well, he's just got to lead 89 more laps, 88 more laps, and that's going to be 50 right there on his way to what could be a total of $200.
Yeah, and
if you want to count the fact that he gets his entry fee back.
yeah, that and the 2 most important laps that some of these drivers want to lead is going to be lap 100 and lap 200 to get that $50 bonus and to get that $100 for winning the race.
Bagley and Greenwood are doing a good job. They're keeping up pace right here. Last time by, the top 3 pretty even. Falkenham was a little bit quicker, about a 10th. But Bagley and Greenwood still showing some good pace here on lap number 12, and we're closing in about halfway to our first green flag pit stop. I don't think, not being able to see the inside telemetry of these drivers, we don't know if they're saving fuel or not, but if they're not saving at all and they're just pushing, we're going to look at first pit stop somewhere around lap 28 to 29.
I look at that 39 and tell me he's not pushing. All the way through the field, he's getting up into the 3rd place. Somebody who's kind of fallen back a bit is Tango. Oh, we got one into the wall, Anthony Trippi. Gonna try to keep it together here, but that looks to be some pretty decent damage.
Looks like he's going to keep her going. Doesn't look like he lost a lot of pace right there. Just a brush with the concrete, which is pretty rare to do in one of these cars. Usually any contact at all and you're heading down to pit road.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like it's handling well. He might still have to come into the pits.
Yeah, we see him kind of working the wheel back and forth right there. It does look like he's got some damage. It's going to affect his speed. Yep, there he is, diving down into pit road.
That definitely could not keep the car on the bottom of the racetrack. It was just pushing up right there. One of our early incidents drivers, Brock Whitehead, has made it back out of the pits, but Trey, he's still been in the pits now for 8 minutes at this point, so heavy damage there. But it's good to see guys not just quit, even though they got about 4 minutes worth of damage, still going to get back out there and make some laps.
Yeah, and it looks like...
Well, I mean, with
sorry.
the way that this is going, you never know. I mean, you might be able to fight and get your money back. And even then, I know it's not the fight that you wanted for your Indianapolis 500 Saturday, but it's still a little bit of something to fight for.
Yeah, and it looks like Eric Dubois and Trey Whitehead have gotten a meatball flag, so their race is going to be done.
Well, not necessarily. A meatball doesn't necessarily end the race. It just means the car is too damaged to be on the racetrack. So I could get it fixed, get back out onto the racetrack. Though it looks like Eric Dubois might be calling it a day.
Looking at the split up in the front right now, Bagley, Greenwood, Falkenham is been about 1.5 seconds from first to third here for the last couple of laps. So they're all maintaining about the same distance right now. Bagley with about a 12, 15 car length advantage back to Greenwood. And we're going to see who blinks first, who comes down pit road, takes some fuel, gets some tires on these cars. It looks like we're in for a long green flag run unless something crazy happens here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if the only one who's able to make it a few extra laps is Greenwood, being right up behind Bagley for those few laps.
Yeah, and Paz, if you can stretch out this first run, kind of cycle that out through all, maybe you can even cut out a pit stop if you can draft up in there. But we're going to see how this plays out. Greenwood looks to be holding about the same pace, so I'm not sure how much he may be coasting right there, but you're right there, Joey. It may actually just be saving him some fuel at this point. We take a look here at Gary Wells back here in 10th. He's got Kevin Allen right there behind him. Tal Owen up there in the 9th spot. Good run here for Gary. Started back in 12th, now moved up a couple of spots up into the top 10.
Kevin Allen, Dwayne Drummond just behind. They're both up 6 spots from where they started. Trying to keep their names alive for the Hard Charger Award. Oh, we got a problem.
That looks like another Whitehead. Is that Charles Whitehead? First caution of the event. Big incident here. Looks like maybe somebody back there behind him also into the wall.
Yep.
Miles Bagley has crashed.
Did the leader crash right there? Was Whitehead right in front of the leader in that incident, or was that a separate incident here?
We're going to have to go back and take a look at that.
Yeah, we are. Charles Whitehead. So Falkingham's going to take over the lead. Bobby Rafferty up to second.
Yeah, it looks like Whitehead crashed and then Bagley crashed.
We also lost our second place car.
Yeah, not sure.
Greenwood the meatball flag as well. So something happened there with Greenwood
the top 2
and Bagley
when that caution came out. My goodness.
We're watching Charles Whitehead right here. He just pushes off the corner, gets into the wall. Hard contact. I think the other incident's separate back here behind this. It does not look like it's the same incident.
Oh my.
Bagley. Oh. I have to go back a little further. It looks like Bagley might have made a mistake and crashed on his own and collected Greenwood there.
He just touched the wall, and it sent his car down to the inside, and when he came back up, there was nowhere for Greenwood to go.
Too much debris across the racetrack. Still not sure what happened to Bagley there. He just make a mistake. Did the car get loose? But he hit that outside wall and come down and caught the inside wall hard. And our new leader is the 39 of Daniel Falkenham. Started in 16th. Here we are 19 laps into the race, and he has found his way to the lead.
Found himself an early lead here after 19 laps. Put up 15 spots on the race, but a tough start for a lot of these guys.
You know, I was watching that replay again, and it didn't look like Greenwood didn't even make any contact with Bagley as he was coming across. He just tried to swerve out of the way and got into the wall himself, so both of those cars damaged. It looks like we're down to, my counts, we're down to 12 cars on the racetrack right now that don't have some kind of damage.
Yeah,
I'm
there
showing
was some contact there. Yeah.
he clipped that rear wheel a little bit with his front wheel, and well, wheel-to-wheel contact at any speed is going to be disastrous in these cars.
And really not much time to react.
Not the speed you're going here. You don't have a lot of, not a lot of time when something happens in front of you. Greenwood was about half a second behind it, but that's not much time in coming off the corner at these speeds.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the average reaction time is 3/4 of a second. So if you're half a second behind somebody, you're already behind the 8 ball.
Everybody coming down pit road, taking advantage of this caution flag here on lap number 20. Our top 2 drivers now look to be out of this race. Greenwood might be able to get repaired, but I think Bagley's day could be done. I don't think he's going to get, or he's going to sit on pit road for probably 20 minutes at this point.
Well, we have a minute. Let's see if we can bring in our good buddy, Matt Metler. Matt, you're up in the booth. You got a copy.
What's up, brother?
How's it going out there, Matt? It's wild and fast, am I right?
I'll tell you what, I'm having a blast out here. I haven't died yet, or I haven't put on an air show, and that's a win in my book because I've owned this car less than 24 hours. How are you guys up in the booth?
Fantastic, man. I can't tell you how thankful I am for everything that you've done to help out with this race, and super cool to see you on track. I know that this place is a place you love to run, and pretty much anything you can get your hands on, so...
You ain't wrong. In fact, I know you're going to bring it up so we can talk about the DRL race where I bailed on you in the booth to be on this racetrack. You're right. I absolutely love this racetrack. First time in open wheel. Want to thank you for all the hard work and you guys at SRM for doing the broadcast for this. Happy to be a part of this race, man, and I hope it's as fun for you as it is for me out here on the racetrack.
Yes, sir. Well, looks like we're 1 to green here, so we'll definitely have to get you back in to talk more about Redline Racing and what you got going on, but...
Well, I'll tell you what, as soon as I try to impersonate the Blue Angels, I'll come join you up there in the booth.
Awesome stuff, man. Well, we hope you don't do that, but maybe we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
I hope so too, but I'm being realistic.
You got this, Matt. This is Chris up in the booth, buddy. Good to see you. Just
brother.
Just hang out there. You got a good finish right here. We're down to only 12 cars without any damage right now, so just keep your head cool. Be patient. You're gonna have a good finish.
That's what I'm trying to do. Just, you know what? I'm not looking at pace. I'm not looking at anything, but just keeping myself in between the lines right now. Keeping it very simple.
All right. Well, we're gonna send you back here.
Good luck, buddy.
So we come to the green flag. Green flag in the air. Falkingham waits a little bit. Seems like a bit of a checkup as a couple drivers moving down to the inside. One of them looking 3 wide, side by side for second place. Here comes Bobby Rafferty up on the outside. Now he's going to get himself a run, see what he can do on Falkingham. 3 wide in the back of this field. Matt Metler, Dwayne Drummond. Metler goes up the racetrack a little bit. Bobby Rafferty trying to take away the race lead. Falkingham on the bottom. Robinson up on the top.
3 wide into the 3 for the lead right there, and it's going to be Robinson coming out in front. Rafferty, Falkingham right there. Good charge here now, side by side one more time off of 4, but it's going to be Robinson coming across.
Oh, no, Django.
Tal Owen, it looks like hard contact with the inside wall. Caution, green is staying out on the racetrack. There's our caution.
Yeah, I'm not sure why iRacing's not throwing the caution, so I'm the one who's got to hit the button. We do apologize for that, but
yeah, sometimes single car incident, they take a little while before they throw them, but Owen now hard contact, looked like a little mistake there, just caught the wall. It's kind of the same thing we saw with Bagley just a little bit ago.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here coming up off of turn number 4. Just gets a little washed up in dirty air and kind of, yeah, a little bit of contact to the wall to the outside sends him down to the inside. That's almost reminiscent of the old NASCAR 15 wall glitch. Do see a comment here, Oak 32 Assassin, hello, 08, Dale Greenwood, just awful, terrible. I hate that your race ended that way, man. That is just awful. That is terrible. breaks my heart.
Yeah, it's disappointing enough when you make a mistake, but when you get caught up in somebody else's mistake, there's really nothing you can do about it. And Greenwood had a good run going here. Unfortunately, his day is done. It looks like I'm also seeing Bagley looks to be done for the day as well. So we're down to, with that hard contact there from home, we may be down to 11 cars in this field here, Liam.
That's looking that way. I almost want to give Brock Whitehead. I don't know if he'll get the free pass.
Do they do free passes in Indy? I guess I haven't watched it.
But I also set it up to do full course cautions, and it hasn't done that.
All right, so Robinson finds his way to the front. Falkenham down to 4th. So it's Robinson, Rafferty, Adams, Falkenham, and Mayering. They're top 5, and I'm sure I'm saying, is it Mayering or Mayering? I think it's Somebody correct me on that.
I think I would pronounce it Myring, yeah.
Anytime I heard the word Meyer, I think of the movie Better Off Dead. No? Too old? No.
Yeah, and it does look like Brock Whitehead's getting the free pass here.
Slow cautions and whatnot. Thought I had it set to do that and to get waiver rounds and whatnot.
2 drivers coming down pit road.
So Whitehead's 4 laps down at this point, so he's going to get one of them back. All right, 25 laps down, 175 left to go in the Old Glory 500. Almost said 400. It's 500 miles, 200 laps here at Indy.
Yeah, I think we've got some help from the YouTube chat. Somebody commented my space space ring, so maybe it's my ring.
Meyer ring.
Meyer ring. All right, thanks there, Mallory.
Yeah, Dale, we were trying to set it up to have lucky dogs and waiver rounds. I know it's iRacing and IndyCar, but just wanted to try to help people stay competitive in case something did happen.
I think you just wanted to give it a little NASCAR angle.
Yeah, I do love my NASCAR. In retrospect, I maybe should have given a fast repair just because of the fact that it is iRacing, and you know, in a money race, you're probably not going to get people just driving like crazy because they have it.
No, everything we've seen so far has not really been, nobody driving crazy. It's just a mistake here. They're just, just making a mistake, letting the car push off the corner or going too far into the corner. The car pushes off, gets into the outside wall. That has been pretty much the common area we've seen so far here in the first 25 laps.
Yeah, now I'm not sure what the skill level and the experience some of these drivers have driving these Indy cars, but I ran a few test laps before we went live. And I fancy myself a decent iRacer, but running these Indy cars, I don't know how to steer them. And I was pushing up in the wall quite frequently. So I definitely give props to these guys for being able to get out here and give it a shot. But it could be just one of those transition things where they're still getting used to the car.
Well, we've got a long way to go to still get used to it. That is a fact. However, cars are limited, so the cautions are going to be limited. You're going to have a lot of chance under green flag conditions to experience what this car has for you. And we've seen what these guys are experiencing in dirty air. It can really catch you off guard, even some of the better guys. I mean, I was going to say Miles Bagley, but he was up in the front. Dale Greenwood, those guys were up front. But, I mean, Tango got up in some dirty air, got wide. We saw that happen with the Whiteheads.
I also want to mention Falkenham, Wells, and Mettler all took this opportunity to come down to pit road. Looking at their pit times, they may have only taken fuel only. It's kind of hard to tell, but are we unlimited tires or we have a tire limit?
We are unlimited tires.
Okay, so I'm guessing they probably took tires in. So Falkenham goes down to 9th, now Wells to 10th. Our good pal Matt Mettler, they're in 11th right now, but he's kind of hanging around back there in that 10th and 11th, 12th spot. He seems to be pretty comfortable. He just wants to finish this race.
Yeah, I think that's his goal for now, and then once we get around the halfway mark, he's going to find himself some confidence as that pace car makes a pretty confident left turn into the pits. Robinson going to go right away. Oh, we've got a big trouble in the back.
I'm not sure who that was. It looks like it might have been Whitehead. Whitehead was back there in the back. Was it? That wasn't Matt, was it?
Might have been.
Looks like
Heavy damage there.
Gary
Wells as well.
So Wells right there involved in this one. Looks like the last 3 cars starting were involved in this, and that would have been Mettler, Wells, and Whitehead, and Brock Whitehead.
Yeah, it's almost like a pick your poison type of situation because we've seen wrecks in the front, we've seen wrecks in the middle, we've seen wrecks in the back. So not going to be easy.
No, it's really not. See if we can find a good angle of this as everybody gets going.
Looks like a checkup.
Potentially in front of Falkingham.
I'm not sure. Did Falkenham kind of back off? Because it looked like Mettler just drove over the back of Wells right there. And you can see the 31 of Mettler with some heavy, heavy damage, but it looked like he just wheel hopped. Maybe Wells didn't go as quickly as he expected him to. Take another look at it. Oh, actually, it looked like Wells got. You saw Will spin the tires just a little bit. You saw the car wiggle. And then Mettler just jumped over the right rear. He said he was going to go flying.
He did say that.
Good angle here. Oh, yeah, just... It looked like Falkenham may have checked up, and Wills checked up right there with him, and Mettler just did not see that accordion effect right there. And caution, we say it all the time, no matter what race we cover, cautions breed cautions, right? I mean, we get one caution out. We had a long green flag run to start this race. Now we are on our 3rd caution here in just a matter of about 4 laps.
Yeah, and the field is dwindling down rather quickly. Although at this point, Brock Whitehead, with the free pass, is going to be able to get back on the lead lap in a few. So I think Falkingham checked up a little off the 41, and then it was just kind of a chain reaction from there, you know, the accordion effect.
Yeah, it's hard to tell without seeing inside the car. Did he check up? Did he miss a shift? You know, what happened there, but unfortunate there for Mettler, Wells, and Whitehead all getting involved in this. Brock Whitehead back down pit road for some more repairs. .29 laps down, 171 left to go in this one, Liam. And Joe, we've got 9 cars left on the racetrack right now, or maybe a few more. It looks like Owen, Greenhead, and Bagley. Bagley actually got himself back out onto the racetrack. If I'm looking at that right. No, he is out. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the time and scoring wrong.
Yeah, we've got 9 on the track and 4 in pit road getting repairs.
Brock Whitehead's still out there getting laps back. He's going to try to put a little zing on this one yet.
At this pace, he may get himself up into the money if we keep dropping cars here, but we're down to 8 now on the racetrack as Falkenham's going to come. Falkenham's liking these unlimited tires. He's going to come down and get some more tires, it looks like here, Liam.
Yeah, that definitely an advantage there. Might be a little oversight on my part, but that could have also just been a quick opportunity to top off. He only took 3 seconds in the pits there, so just a quick opportunity to top off. He's still got pretty fresh tires after that restart. Didn't get a lot of use out of them. So
Yeah, I feel like that's a respectable thing to do and not just, you know, take advantage of having unlimited tires.
Yeah, but at the same time, if the option's there.
Yeah. When in Rome.
And any racer knows, you're going to take any advantage you could possibly get. As my dad always said in the rule book, if they don't say it, you can't do it, that means you can.
So we're going to get ready to go green once again here. Falkingham actually came in and topped off that last time too. I wonder if he's just having fun driving through the field.
or driving down pit road, one of the two.
It's a bit of a risky move, as we've seen from roughly lap 20 to 30. We shall see. Guys start to kind of shift around. Here goes Shaggy. Green flag in the air. Rafferty gets on it. We'll take a look towards the back of the field. Everybody this time around going to get through clean and green.
Side-by-side action up here towards the front. Look like Adams and Meyering. I see it was Meyering and Good Pasture. I was seeing up towards the front right there, the red car of Pasture. And you look at the set. Robinson down to the bottom. Rafferty right there with him. We're 3 wide back here in the back.
Falkingham super aggressive on the inside. Going to get right up onto that white line. Send a couple of cars up the track. That was the 41 of Dwayne Drummond and Kevin Allen. Also going to get passed here by Falkingham. He is wasting no time here on this start. Michael Self, the other driver that was passed there, and he just got a whirlwind from a Coke Series driver. Bobby Rafferty takes over the race lead. Sorry, Joe.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just going to say we were almost 4 wide right there.
That's not something you hear a lot about at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, let alone on iRacing. I mean, we know how netcode can be. Good Pastor, he's got Daniel Falkingham coming up on his rear end. Tony Meyering. Good Pastor still racing pretty hard here for a top 5 position.
Look at Meyering right here up towards the front. Got Good Pasture right there with him. This is for 4th and 5th. Falkingham back here lurking in the 6th spot. But Rafferty doing a good job out in front. Last time by, the fastest car on the racetrack was Falkingham.
Blazing fast, a 40-14.
0.6 of a second faster than anybody else on the racetrack.
That might be why he's gone pro.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of him in the Coke Series.
Rocking the, looks like the EPI Industries race pilot.
EPI Racing Industries. Run some of their stuff. He's looking really, he's already caught the back of Good Pasture here for 5th. He's going to make quick work of Good Pasture here down into the corner.
A race EPI, yeah, it is EPI.
Yeah, EPI Performance. They do put out a lot of good products right there. They sponsor a couple other leagues that I've been a part of. And here comes the Falkingham again. He's going to go down to the bottom. That looks like Meyering right there in front of him. And one of the lap cars, Alex Metler. Metler back on the racetrack in the 31.
Metler is back out onto the racetrack, staying out of the way. But back out there.
He got up into the wall just a little bit back there, but it looks like it's not affecting him that much.
Yeah, we know he had some damage from that last caution there, but it'd be interesting to see. Brock Whitehead has actually gotten around him. It's a couple of laps to the better of Matt Metler right now.
Yeah, Matt 6 laps down there after getting involved in that caution back on lap 29. But here comes Robinson now back on the back of Rafferty down the front straightaway. Going to have a line to the inside into 1, and here comes Robinson back to the front.
Rafferty fights hard on the outside, though. Look at that run. He's going to be able to clear him, getting back into turn number 2. Bobby Rafferty of Ancient World Gaming, the head honcho over there, one of the guys that kind of runs the show. Of course, we got Ms. Weeks. Ms. Weeks over there as well. We love her. Appreciate you guys jumping on and being a supporter for this race. And definitely glad to be able to work with you, and we're looking forward to the future, and hopefully we got some good stuff planned.
Robinson takes a look back to the inside into 1. Going to try to make the way back to the front here around Rafferty. They're side by side through 1 and 2. Rafferty's running really good outside line through the middle of the corner right here, and you can just see the momentum he carries off of 2 back to the front. He is defending that charge there from Robinson the last couple of laps.
Absolutely phenomenal defending. He's using that dirty air, getting in front of the 26, but wow. A, they get close to the wall, but B, the 26 really had a good run coming up off of turn number 2, or 3 rather. Staying right up off of him on turn 4. Looks to the outside.
See if Rafferty can defend on the bottom as he's been doing on the outside of the racetrack, and it looks like Robinson's going to make it work this time. Rafferty fights back up on the outside, takes a look to the outside of 2. It's going to have to tuck right in line down the back straightaway here. Watch for Rafferty, look to the inside. He's going to take a peek. Does he have anything going into 3?
He does, and as these guys go side by side, toe to toe, Ian Adams closes in, Daniel Falkingham closes in. This 2-car race could become a 4-car race very, very quickly. Here comes Robinson back down to the inside.
Let's see if he's got the momentum here. He does not.
I think Rafferty saved his hybrid until the very last minute of that, or second of that straightaway, and powered ahead. There's a lot going on in these cars, especially with the regen and the deploy. If you use it all, you've got to regen it real quick. You don't want to be on this long straightaway without any extra power.
As you see both of these drivers, Rafferty and Robinson, getting extremely close to that wall coming off the turns.
It is coming across the straight. Go ahead.
That's kind of that knife edge that you're dealing with. You want to get as close to the wall and use as much racetrack as possible, but we've seen what happens if you take just an inch too much.
Yeah, you turn that wheel too hard off the corners, all you're doing is scrubbing off speed. So you want to open the wheel up as soon as you can, carry it to the outside, but just as you said, Liam, a little too much, and you're going to see what we've been seeing earlier on in this race. And you can watch everybody right here through 1 and 2 up to the outside wall. You're going to see the same thing as it come off the corner here. Right down the frustrated, right along here with Daniel Falkingham in the 39.
$231 into the corner, down to 213, 214, still massive speed. I mean, we sit here, we talk about Talladega, Daytona, these guys running 200 miles an hour all around the racetrack. This is insane speed.
Yeah, Daniel Falkham's done a good job. He's made his way up here into the top 4, but has not been able to reel Adams in. Just kind of comfortably sitting back here, waiting for his opportunity. And Rafferty starting to get away from Robinson now. They went back and forth for 3 or 4 laps, but little separation now, about 0.6 of a second to the good.
That's what I was talking about earlier on in the show, how Bobby Rafferty is good at saving these tires, running the longer run. I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to extend this gap over second place for a little bit, as now these guys start to reel in, realize where their tires are, and starting to see a little bit of a gap staying between these guys. Falkingham even was able to get close to Ian Adams, but now starting to fall a couple of car lengths back. Try to use that hybrid, use the toe to close in down the back straightaway, but through 3 and 4, it's just going to get a little bit tight. Has to let up off of the gas. Nice wide arc by the Ian Adams machine, that 35. Try to do what he can to keep Falkingham behind him.
Yeah, and we're still out of a position in this race. We've got 156 laps to go, so it's just going to be a momentum game from this point on for some of these drivers. Just maintain your position, keep in that draft, and hopefully put yourself in a position come late race to make a pass.
And our top 3 drivers did pit back on lap 20 for 23 laps into that stint. We're going to see some green flag stops here, probably within the next 8 to 10 laps. For our top 3 drivers, Falkingham did pit on lap 30, so he's got a few more laps to go.
I'm going to give a little bit of a driver spotlight here. Car 17, that's Tony Myrick. One of the first guys that signed up for this race, so I got to say thank you for that. Rocking a pretty good looking paint scheme. It's got Icon on there. SWM.
Tony also with the loudest cheering squad in the YouTube chat as well.
Yeah, Liz Myring say go 17. He's looking pretty stout in 5th. He's up 4 spots from where he started. He's been able to deal with some of this attrition that's plagued half of this field at this point.
take a look up here at third place, Ian Adams. Falkenham still right there behind him. They've pretty much kept the same distance. Adams now closing on the back of Robinson. Robinson checked up really hard right there off the corner. And that's going to let Adams go by for second. Not sure what that was about right there, but he really got out of the throttle right there. Adams gets by easy, and here comes Daniel Falkenham now looking to get by for third.
Did he get into the wall, or did he just spook himself and get really wide and have to let up off of the gas? Guess we'll find out with how hard he defends over this 47 machine, or 39 machine rather, just behind him. So Adams moves into second. That's 2.5.
Oh.
Falkingham gets loose coming up off of turn 1.
Nice save right there. Just got a little contact. You saw a little concrete dust fly off right there, but he's going to keep it going. First mistake we've seen out of the 39 so far during the green flag action, but we got Adams here. First time Adams had some clean air. Let's see if he's got any better pace. See if he can run Rafferty back down.
Take a look at the lap times as they come around. You're starting to see these guys slide. It is a really sketchy feeling to get loose in an Indy car. The toughest situation I've been in is running Old Atlanta. You know, it'd be, I think they did 75 lap officials, and, well, you run 20 laps on those tires, you're getting loose coming up off of turn 2 in ways that you do not want to in an Indy car. When you feel that thing jump out sideways, you've only got a split second to react, and you've got to do it just right, otherwise you're either going into the inside wall or the outside wall.
And we are coming up on our pit window here. Within the next 5 laps, I think we're going to see a few drivers drop down a pit. Take a look here at Goodpasture all over the back of Kevin Allen. This is for 6th. Goodpasture started in 7th. That's where he runs right now. He is trying to get around the 76 of Allen right there in front of him. Now take a look to the inside. Head into 1.
It looked like Goodpasture just didn't like what he saw when he went to make the move to the inside. Smart move by backing out, resetting, and get ready to go and do it again.
Well, it looks like Matt Metler is back in the pits. Maybe put it on the holler. Let's ask. Matt, what's going on?
Down here making some repairs, brother. How's things up there in the booth?
Well, we've got some excellent racing going on so far, and, well, we saw you have a little bit of contact there. What happened on that restart?
Well, this is where the difference between a next gen and an Indy car come in. Guy in the Discord was leading the race. He said green, green, green. So I heard green. What do? We hit the gas pedal. Well, someone didn't go, which caused the guy in front of me to start to go and then not go. The next thing I know, I'm flying through the air like the Dukes of Hazzard. I had no idea what happened.
Well,
and we've got our 4th caution. Looks to be Jeffrey Goodpasture.
So go ahead.
Jeffrey Goodpasture there in the,
I didn't see what happened there, but that's going to give you some more time to get some repairs done there, Matt.
Looks like it. About 1 minute and 24 seconds, and then we can get back on the racetrack, guys.
well, awesome stuff, man. We're looking forward to seeing you there, and, well, yeah, now we got another caution out there.
So Goodpasture
with you in the booth.
All right, buddy. Good luck. Hopefully get back out there and get some laps in. So we saw Goodpasture there racing with Kevin Allen. He was some pretty tight racing going on there. Did not quite see what happened there, but under caution now for the 4th time in this event. All he's going to do is what we've been seeing. Yep, right there is just what we've seen. Just drifts a little too high off the corner.
And this one brought the caution out itself, so.
Stopped.
Yeah,
I think what you saw there is a single car, but it stopped on the racetrack. That's probably why it did. Sorry there, Joe.
Oh, you're good. I was just going to say, we've seen that way too many times this race.
And we've yet to have to see any green flag stops. We were getting really close right there within a couple of laps. Now with the caution out, I believe we're going to see all these drivers dive down to pit road here once pit road opens up this time by. Remember, pit road speed is 60 mile an hour.
Yeah, these guys do have the pit limiter, but of course, they're going to try to get as close to the car in front of them as they can. Take advantage of this pit lane. Bobby Rafferty gets way out in front. Some guys back there trying to get what they can.
Looks like the lap car Whitehead going to stay out on the racetrack.
Going to get his way around.
And here comes Matt Medler in the 31. He's going to make his way out of the pits after some lengthy repairs here. We've got about 11 cars left in this race at this point. It looks like that Falkenham's going to win the race off of pit road. About a second, almost a second and a half better on the pit stop, and 2 seconds better on his in and out times all the way down pit road right there. 42.1 to a 44.8 for Rafferty, and that is how Falkenham's going to take the lead here.
Oh, well, you know, that was the benefit that he got from pitting under that last caution and topping off, was that he didn't have to wait on fuel. As soon as they dropped the jacks, he was able to get out and go. He saved over a second on his pit stop, had another second gained on his pit lap time, entry and exit. Or his pit lane time, rather. Entry and exit. Although last time he restarted in the lead, he did not quite get that super jump that we might expect out of the 39 machine.
No, we got Metler there out in front. We're going to see Matt get a wave around here, I'm sure, in the 31. We're down to 7 cars left on the lead lap right now. Falkenham, Rafferty, Robinson, Adams, Meyering, Michael Self back in 6th right now. And then Kevin Allen's up 10 spots in this race, all the way started 17th, all the way up to 7th.
Dwayne Drummond tried to get as much repair as he possibly could and stay on the lead lap. Unfortunately, going to find himself going 1 lap down. So we've still got 10 drivers on the racetrack. 7 on the lead lap after 125 miles.
We're past our 25%, past our 50 lap point, 52 laps into this race. I would expect at this point we should see a long green flag run from here on out, unless somebody just gets tired. It's a lot of laps out there. The people don't realize just sitting in the sim rig just how hard it can be if you don't have if you're, you know, you can get tired running around out here for 150 to 200 laps.
Oh yeah, you absolutely can. I've done exactly 1 iRacing Indy 500. I got my heart broken, and I haven't had the confidence to get back on and do it. These guys are in it to win it. They know that there's money on the line, but at the same time, it's 500 miles at Indianapolis. You've got to complete all 500 before you can think about winning it, and we're seeing why that's so important here today. Still early, but the attrition rate has been high. But I don't think that's going to take away from the quality of racing that we see. See what we got here on this restart. The pace car makes that hard left turn. Falkingham gonna slowly lead him up, lead him down, however you want to call it. But we are green flag once again. Falkingham into turn number 1 first. Rafferty right up on his bumper, though. Right up under his rear wing.
Yeah, Rafferty's looked good on these last couple of restarts, and he is right there on the back, on the wing. I was going to say back bumper. There's no bumpers on these cars, right? I covered too much NASCAR stuff. Right on underneath the wing of Falkenham. Going to look into 3. Here goes Rafferty for the lead one more time.
And here comes Robinson on the inside of Adams, trying to take away 2nd or 3rd place. Gets a little bit tight in the wash of Falkingham. Man, these guys are racing super hard. I'm starting to lose track of names. It's a little early for that as Rafferty holds on to the lead. Here comes Falkingham to the inside. Going to use some of that hybrid. Rafferty doesn't want to give it up, but Falkingham clear into 1. Going to have to. Ian Adams gets a little bit tight there in the jet wash. The dirty air. That's going to allow Robinson down to the inside. Now Tony Meyering going to try to close in here on Ian Adams as there's another group of 4 just behind these guys. Michael Self, Kevin Allen. Got Dwayne Drummond just in front of him.
Yeah, and we saw that battle earlier with Rafferty and Robinson going back and forth. Rafferty was able to defend up on the outside, but once Falkenham got underneath him there, going into 1, he could not put up enough of a fight, had to settle back down at his 2nd. But our top 4 is starting to check out on the rest of the field again.
Oh, man.
Contact right there.
Oh,
and
big
there goes
trouble.
And that looked like our pal Matt Mettler in the 31. That car in front of him into the outside wall, and it looked like Matt is still up on his side.
Oh, that's not Matt.
That's not Matt. Is that Whitehead?
That's Brock Whitehead.
Wow, he went way airborne.
Yeah, he did. Caution comes out once again. The car in front got into the wall. Brock nowhere to go with that car being out of control.
5th caution of the day here on lap 56.
It was almost like Whitehead just wasn't quite sure where to go.
Who was that in the white car? Was that
Wonder if that was Drummond.
was it Drummond?
I believe it was Michael Self.
So Michael Self running in 7th right there, makes a mistake, hits the outside wall. I'm surprised he doesn't have more damage on the car right there. From this, especially from that hit. You know, actually from that angle, it doesn't even look like it. I don't think Self even realized he got hit right there because his car didn't even bobble. But you can see Whitehead upside down, sliding against the wall down across the racetrack. But Brock Whitehead had made up a few laps. He has to have won the Wrench Wrangler Award for the most time getting repairs there.
And I wonder if Self knew that Whitehead had a big run coming up on him coming out the corner.
Yeah, a lot of times what you'd expect a guy to, you know, he's either going to, if he gets on the wall right there, he's going to try to stay up against the outside wall, but you can see him he had drifted down to the middle of the racetrack and then started to go back to the top when Whitehead came right up there. I think Whitehead expected him to stay down in the middle. And Self had just made a little bit of a right-hand turn back up into that outside line, and that was when Whitehead got in the back of him.
I wonder if maybe Whitehead, or rather Self, expected Whitehead to move down to the inside.
Yeah, at that point, you're just kind of guessing. All you can really do once you've made that mistake is try to hold a good line, give the guys behind you somewhere to go, give them an opportunity. But unfortunate for Brock Whitehead, he finds himself with some heavy repairs once again. Rafferty out in front. We've got Myron, Falkingham, Self all on pit road right now. So it's Rafferty, Robinson, and Adams, your top 3.
Again, under the 5th caution of this race. Cautions breed cautions. You can say that again. First 20 laps of the race caution free, and got 5 in the next 40.
Looks like we got Trey Whitehead up in the YouTube chat saying commentator's curse. I'm not sure who he's blaming that one on. I think it probably must be you, Liam.
I'll take the blame for it.
It's all of us. We're all in this together.
Yeah, and Falkingham with that alternate pitch strategy, it's worked for him the past few times he's done it. And, you know, with only 10, 11 cars out on the track, I don't see that being too much of an issue for him to get back up front.
No,
Oh, you know
honestly,
what?
I was going to say, I honestly think he's had enough maneuverability with his car that he's just going back and he's learning. He's figuring out what he can do later on in the run on tires. He's trying to learn absolutely everything he can to make a final push to get $200. $150 if he wins it. Doesn't lead the halfway lap, but
Well, I actually know what Trey's talking about. Right before that caution, I made the comment of, I think we're going to have a nice long green flag run here.
oh yeah, no, that'll do it. You're not,
It was you.
It
not
was
allowed
me.
to say those things.
Well, if we didn't get one before, we're going to get one now. So
Well, we are currently down to 7 cars on the racetrack. Dwayne Drummond still back down on pit road getting some more repairs done. Whitehead also. It looks like good pasture out of this race. Mettler and Wells still in there, still down on pit road. And we still have Charles Whitehead and Trey Whitehead. They're actually still in the pits. They've never left the race. They're still down there 53 minutes now. Whitehead's sat on pit road. Or Trey Whitehead actually sat on pit road.
Yeah, well, if they can get repairs and get back on the track and get a top 10, they're going to get their money back.
I think iRacing built him about half a dozen cars right there in that 53 minutes. He's probably been repaired at this point. Heck, at this point, he could be 57 laps down in this race and might place in the money here if he gets back out the way things are going. All right, lights are out. Hard left-hand turn there. Gets a little sideways. The pace car gets a little sideways coming down pit road. Rafferty and Robinson going to bring us to the line. Green in the air one more time on lap 60. Big jump there from Rafferty. He gets a nice run down into 1 and 2. Separates himself by about 10 car lengths back to Robinson. Adams now in third.
Yeah, good run here coming up off of turn number 2. See what Falkingham can do as he's got Kevin Allen just in front of him. Yeah, like you said, a little bit sideways there from the pace car. You don't want to see a repeat of Phoenix. What was that? Was that last year or the year before?
I think it was the year before.
The pace car crashed.
Well, Drummond did get himself back on the lead lap with that caution. Rafferty going to serpentine down the front straightaway here. Robinson takes a peek to the inside. Not enough room down there. He settles back into second. Here comes Falkingham. He's got a run on Allen for fourth. He's looking down to the inside.
See what he can do on exit a little bit stronger. Everybody moves down to get the toe. Falkingham stays up top, puts that hybrid in as everybody else snakes back up to the top. He's going to get the toe, and he's going to move into fourth place.
Allen now back to fifth. Falkingham and Allen are both our biggest movers, up 12 spots from where they started at. Allen's had a good run right here, started back in 17th. He's in fifth. But here comes Daniel Falkingham. Can he get anything on Adams? Look at 1 and 2. Robinson looks to the inside of Rafferty one more time. We saw this earlier in the race. Let's see if Rafferty can hang the outside like he did off of turn number 2 earlier on. No, he's going to have to settle to the bottom. Drops down behind Robinson off of 2.
What can he do coming up off of turn number 2? Big run here coming up off. He got a bit of a toe. He's going to use that hybrid system. Going to be able to get clear side by side here, getting into turn 3 for third place. Around the outside goes Falkingham.
Daniel Falkingham now up to third. Gets around Adams. Made that look pretty easy.
Yeah, big move there on the outside. You don't often see a pass made on the outside here at Indianapolis. It does happen from time to time, as we saw with Newgarden and O'Ward, as here comes to the inside Mike Robinson once again, and Bobby Rafferty, who's been oh so good at fighting on that second lane, does it once again. Going to cut down in front, cut off the air, and try to get himself a nice run to drive away down the back straightaway, because he knows who's in third place. Oh, a late move to the inside. Caught a little bit of curb there. Did Robinson.
Yeah, a little late right there. Rafferty did not expect that. They almost a little bit of contact right there between our two leaders. That allowed Falkingham to close up a little bit closer. Now our top three, you could put a blanket over him. Here they come down into one more time. Robinson down on the bottom. He wants to lead one more time.
This time he's going to be able to get it. Rafferty has to let him go. Second place is that 77, but he's going to try to set himself up a nice run coming up off of 2. Meanwhile,
Falkingham getting a big run. Big run by Falkingham coming out of 2.
Yeah, last time by, Falkingham was the fastest car on the racetrack by about 0.3 of a second. Only driver in the 42nd bracket.
Yeah, but now he's getting closer to these lead cars, these fast cars. They're going to be putting up a lot of dirty air. And with the speed that they have, it's going to be harder for him to overcome that dirty air.
Adams doing a good job hanging back there in fourth. Kevin Allen in fifth. We got 8 cars on the racetrack right now, all on the lead lap. Meyering, Self, and Drummond rounds out our top 8.
You know, I think at this point, Whitehead might be stubbornly just trying to make it to the end. I'm still showing him as getting repairs or in the pits.
Also showing Matt Metler in the pits, Gary Wells as well still down there, and he's been down there for about 34 minutes now at this point. He could have had a sandwich, went out and taken a jog, taken a little nap, and maybe he might be repaired by now. All right, Robinson's still with the lead.
I
Off
was
of
going to say,
2.
Rafferty's starting to close in just a little bit. Robinson sees that, starts to snake down the back straightaway.
Looks like they're getting a little bit of some separation from Falkingham.
Yeah, I was going to say, once you get about 5 or so laps on these tires, it really takes a bit of an effort to try to set up a run. So you're going to see Bobby Rafferty close in. He's going to be, oh, so close, but not quite close enough to make a run. And now he loses all that time. He's going to lose roughly 0.4 of a second. But now Falkingham is going to be in his dirty air. He's going to have an opportunity down this back straightaway to try to close in. It's going to be tough with that 77 in the toe of the car in front of him.
Yeah, Robinson and Rafferty putting on a show here for us. Whenever they've got here to the front, it's been back and forth. Rafferty loses some ground, like you said there, but now trying to reel Robinson back in. At the same time, Falkenham trying to close up, and Adams still lurking right there, not too far out of the picture. So our top 4, still anybody's race here at this point. We're only 67 laps into this.
Yeah, we are slowly but surely approaching that halfway mark, where $50 will be paid out courtesy of Ancient World Gaming. Bobby Rafferty wants to bring it home for himself. He says, we put that money up, we're going to take it right back. Thank you very much for letting us race.
Keep an eye. Everybody kind of settled in right now. I think we're a few drivers making some mistakes. We had those early caution flags here, but it looks like everybody left on the racetrack now kind of just settled in where they're at, just getting some laps, putting some laps in. Like we said, we got a long way left to go in this. There's no point in doing anything too crazy too early, because you can't win if you're not there at the end.
That's exactly it, and we've seen a lot of attrition at this stage in the game. A lot of single car incidents. There was, obviously the incident with Greenwood and Miles Bagley there, coming to the caution flag. Also had the Brock Whitehead flipping and flying. Matt Metler getting a little bit of airtime as well.
Well, he said he was going to go flying, and he did. So, unfortunately, it looks like Matt's been on pit road now for about 8 minutes. I think he may be done at this point. Or as we said earlier, just taking a little snooze.
Just making sure that thing is fully ready to get back out onto the racetrack. Right now, he is outside of the top 10. However, he's only got to complete 3 more laps to get in front of Jeffrey Goodpaster.
All right, top 3 right now. Everybody's separated out about a second between all of our top. Actually, about a half a second between everybody up front right now. But Rafferty's starting to close back in on Robinson, just ever so slightly, about a couple thousandths every lap here.
And don't look too far back, because Ian Adams and Kevin Allens have kept these top 3 very honest. It's about 3 seconds between the top 5. Tony Meyering about 2 seconds off of these guys as well. Trying to get a sniff of this draft and see if he can make a little bit later run speed. Michael Self still on the lead lap as well. Another one of our guys from SRM. We've seen him all over the place. Doing NASCAR stuff, ARCA stuff, truck stuff. Very versatile driver. A little bit of contact earlier. Kind of put him behind the 8 ball, but still running top 10. Like you said, Chris, you got to stay alive at the end to win.
And Robinson trying to break that draft one more time from Rafferty down the back straightaway.
I think Falkingham just got a bit of the wall down the back straightaway. Trying to arc his corner. He was able to, continue straight. Didn't seem to slow him down too much, but Ian Adams closed in just a bit. Now Adams going to try to make a run down the front straightaway. So Falkingham has fallen over off of second place.
Yeah, Adams is smelling the fear in the water, the danger. I'm not sure what it is, but he can see that Falkingham made a mistake, and he's trying to close in. I don't have the gift of gab with those kind of sayings like our good buddy Dave Regal or even Matt Metler. If Matt was up here with us, he'd have the perfect thing to say right there.
Yeah, we'll be able to talk to Matt pretty soon here, I think. But yeah, I don't really have it either. I'm just gonna remember the fact that you said Ian Adams is smelly.
No, I said he's smelling.
Yeah, no, I know. The stutter didn't help you though, but I stutter all the time. I can't really say much.
And they still pay us for this. Isn't that crazy?
Technically, I'm paying us for this.
Well, thank you for the paycheck.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being here. And thanks to everybody who's tuning in live here on YouTube, who's been involved in this race. This has truly been something that's special to me, and to be able to just get up here and call an Indy race.
You know, it kind of breaks up the monotony. It gives you a little bit of variety, right? Doing the Indy cars, even though, you know, it's not an oval track, but you know, it gives you a chance to kind of broaden your horizons, right? Get some experience, get some exposure, calling some different races, and man, is it fun watching these cars go 230 miles an hour down these straightaways.
I tell you what, Joe, you don't know this about me, but Chris definitely does, and I'm sure he's sick of hearing about it. But I love the Indianapolis 500. I love the Speedway. This year will be my 9th Indy 500. That's the biggest reason I'm not doing it the day before the Indy 500. It's because I will be out of town. But you know, I love this place, and there is absolutely nothing like watching these cars go by at 220, 230 miles an hour. When they go by in the corners, it's still 210.
Well, it's, you know, it's another one of those iconic races, right? You get the Daytona 500, you got the Indianapolis 500. So it's one of the, you know, another iconic race that everybody wants to win, right? They mean so much to these drivers, and to be able to get a win at the Indianapolis 500 just gives you so much confidence going in the rest of the season, and gives you that bragging rights, and you get to, you know, get the trophy and put that title of Indianapolis 500 champion under your belt.
And I mean, we've got 8 drivers out here on the lead lap that can attest to how tough it is to complete 500 miles. Right,
well, I'm gonna
approaching mile 200, and well, I mean, we're seeing some separation, but these guys are still fighting hard.
Well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of my Indy trivia that I learned back in the late 70s and early 80s. I grew up down in Phoenix, Arizona. My dad raced dirt late models down there forever, and we used to race against. Dad always raced against a guy by the name of Bill Cheeseburg. Bill Cheeseburg, when I knew him in the 70s, like I said, racing late models on the dirt tracks all over the Southwest. But in 1959, and he still holds this record, Bill Cheeseburg passed 17 cars on the first lap of the Indianapolis 500, and that record still holds today. We got a caution.
Oh, Ian Adams. Big trouble here on the 35.
That was not my fault.
Might be mine.
I think it was Joe's.
Yeah, I think this one was me.
Ian Adams running in the top 5.
And once again, we were getting within laps of our first green flag stops. Let's see what happens to Ian. Just gets is he getting loose right there? Yeah, just the car picks up a big push off the corner again. As we've seen just about every incident today, just driving into that outside wall. So Ian, car just pushes right up off the corner, hard contact right there, and that may be the end for Ian. We'll see if he can get this thing repaired.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage, and we haven't really seen anybody who's made that type of contact get back out onto the racetrack. Just goes a little bit wide. Cautions are coming out a lot quicker now. When the 40 and the 09 were stopped on the track, they didn't, but...
All right, that's going to put us down to 7 cars on the lead lap. And yeah, as we were saying there, we were again it was 27 laps there since our last last pit stop, and we were looking forward to some green flag stops here to shake some things up. But caution going to come out here, and that's going to throw that out the window. So it's Robinson, Rafferty, Falkenham, Allen, and Meyering, your top 5 at this point.
Everybody's going to come in, make a pit stop, and we're going to come back and sort that out. But for now, we're going to go side by side. We'll be right back with the Old Glory 500.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Back live here in Indy, the pace car makes that hard left turn once again. Daniel Falkingham leads us down after winning the race off pit road. Bobby Rafferty right behind him, trying to make something happen. Mike Robinson in third place, followed by Kevin Allen, Tony Meyering, Michael Self, and Dwayne Drummond. Falkingham does not want to find himself in dirty air at this point. There's less than a pit stop until that halfway bonus is paid out. He doesn't want to lose this lead. See what Rafferty can do. I wouldn't be shocked if he was doing a lot of fuel saving when he was sitting there in third and fourth. Waiting for guys to come to him instead of trying to push himself up. Now that he's in the lead, Bobby Rafferty closes in pretty close there down the back straightaway, but now that he's in the lead, I expect you're going to be absolutely right. He's going to be able to motor out in front, get himself a good margin, and then start saving again. Try to shorten these pit stops as much as he can. Try to maybe even skip one if he can. Look at Rafferty, though. Big run down the front straightaway. Moves into turn number 1 to the bottom. Going to complete that pass. But here comes Falkingham up on the outside. He's going to fight hard. He's going to fight strong. He's going to be able to hold on coming up off of turn number 2. Rafferty right in the toe. Looks up to the outside. Bold move getting into 3. Falkingham going to hold on. Sorry there, Chris. Bobby Rafferty is AWG. He knows that at every time that Daniel Falkingham passes him, he is potentially reaching into his pocket and taking away $50. Here comes a nice run from the 39 once again to the inside. He's going to be able to take that pass rather commandingly, but Rafferty gets himself a nice arc and stays within 2 car lengths coming up off of turn 3. Definitely seems like he is trying to set himself up for it as he does it once again. Makes that pass going into 3. Rafferty tries to fight a little bit harder. Not quite able to keep that 39 behind him. But every single time down these straightaways, these guys are trading the lead. This time Rafferty not quite able to make that move. Going to get in there right up onto his rear wing. See if he can set himself up down the back straightaway and try to shift the momentum, shift kind of the sides of this racetrack. Falkingham. Yeah, just as I was getting ready to say, Falkingham starting to pull away. Rafferty gets a really nice run down the back straightaway. Uses that toe, likely uses the hybrid system. Getting himself that little bit of extra power to close in. Through these corners, it really goes through the favor of the lead car. That clean air really helping a little bit more than that the benefit of the draft on the front straightaway. Rafferty closing in once again, has to let off on entry. Rafferty really not letting that 39 get away from him. But yeah, like you said, all 7 cars still on the lead lap with a chance at winning this thing. With this kind of spread that we've got on the field, green flag pit stops coming our way is likely. But we are 10 laps away from that halfway bonus being paid out, and Bobby Rafferty is really going to want to keep that money. Oh, I think we'll get green flag pit stops. Mike Robinson. Or maybe he's trying a little bit of fuel save. But yeah, Chris, go ahead. Yeah, he's 1.4 off of the race lead and trying to use his hybrid system, use whatever tow he can. Kevin Allen trying to do the same thing. Last time by Kevin Allen, the only one below 41 seconds. Just about a tenth quicker than everybody in front of him. Rafferty started to close in once again down the front straightaway. He's got a good run. 8 to go here in the first half of the race. No stages here, so no caution will come out, but there will be a payout. Yeah, man, if you need to put out a commercial, wait for a lull in the race, and if there's not a lull in the race, well, you're selling enough. Yeah, they are turning up the wick here, and that's equating to a bigger gap behind him. Now it's 1.7 seconds between second and third. Just a few laps ago, the top four was within 1.7 seconds of each other. I already did it, Joe. You can't jinx us twice. I'm absolutely kidding. I'm thinking that'll change things up a little bit. We'll see if Rafferty's going to be able to stay close to Daniel there. Sorry. All I know is somebody owes me a Coke. I like Coke over Pepsi, but I like Cherry Pepsi over Cherry Coke. Welcome to iRacing Broadcasting. We're 7 days away from the Indy 500. We're 4 laps away from $50 being paid to whoever leads lap 100. 96 complete. Falkingham with about 0.7 of a second lead now, starting to gap the 77. But what kind of adjustments can he make in that car? Talking about weight jacker, talking about anti-roll bars. You can make adjustments in these cars that can kind of shift the way it handles throughout the course of a run. A lot of that's to kind of offset how it's going to handle when you're light on fuel versus when you're heavy on fuel. But you can actually shift weight from the right front to the left rear using that weight jacker. Yeah, he's starting to push hard, but that might cost him time. 2 more laps here to decide 50 out of the over $300 that'll be paid out in total. One more lap to go. This is the money lap. About half a second difference between first and second. Rafferty trying to close in. Looks like Shaggy's able to recover after that wall contact. He's starting to put down some decent lap times. But Daniel Falkingham still half a second in front. Coming up off of turn number 4 as the shade starts to affect this racetrack. Rafferty tries to close in, but too far away. Daniel Falkingham, $50 richer at the halfway mark. Dwayne Drummond, he is numerous laps down at this point. However, he is still on the racetrack. He is their 7th car on the track. He came into the pits. I think he had some damage. Had a black flag he had to serve, so he is numerous laps down. But the only driver on the track that is not on the lead lap, so if the caution does come out, he will get the free pass. And with only 7 cars, I might wave him around twice. See Metler jumping up in the chat saying decided to be Evil Knievel, use his teammate as a launch ramp to the heavens. Well, it might not have been the smartest decision of the day, but it was a decision. He definitely could. He gets 1 more spot, 4 more laps. He's going to be able to get his entry fee back. A couple more, then he'll be able to get Brock Whitehead, Ian Adams, also out of the race. Yeah, but then it comes to a question of, well, we've got this pit stop coming in roughly 5 to 10 laps. It's going to leave us maybe 3 more pit stops. Could you push it to 2? Might be a question that Falkingham thinks about. In that case, if Bobby Rafferty comes in before he does, the undercut's going to be massive because these guys have lost well over a second to their fastest laps. Well, I guess Falkingham has. But what these guys are running right now, compared to what they run on fresh tires, still be advantage Rafferty. And he's not really letting Falkingham get away at this point. It's 1 second between first and second. About 3 seconds back to third place, and then half a second back to Kevin Allen. Tony Myrick working his way up into the top 5 here. Yeah, it's been an absolute blast. We can't thank you enough for being a part of this. Here on Sim Racing Media, we brought over Chris Murphy. He used to work with us, but now he's doing stuff with DRSN. Phenomenal group. Go ahead and check them out as Tony Myring checks out the pit lane. Falkingham starting to get a little bit of a toe from that 41 of Dwayne Drummond. Tony Myron getting out of the pits, and then this is something that we haven't really seen much, or haven't seen yet at all, but you got to stay below that white line. You can touch it, but you got to stay, 2 tires underneath it. All 4 tires underneath it. You can have 2 tires touch it, but if 2 tires go over, you're penalized. Great explanations there from Liam Irving. Well, I was trying to figure out how to equate LePage into that, but I hope he doesn't LePage it. Might have got himself up into the wall a little bit. Looks like he might have or maybe he lost a tire. Maybe he run out of tire. Yeah, it's 22-second stop. He might have run it out of gas or run out of tire. Late call there. Mike Robinson gonna follow. Rafferty gets it down. And I kind of expected that. I mean, we've got less than 90 to go. If he can go 30 laps on each tank of fuel from here on out, he can make it on 2 stops. I mean, I guess Rafferty's in the same boat. You can make it on 2 more stops from here. If you make it to 140 for the first, 170 for the next. No, he didn't. Didn't look like he was quite as aggressive as Rafferty was on entry there, but again, when you're the race leader, you don't need to be too terribly aggressive, especially when you've had the speed that 39 API machine has had. Falkingham coming out of the pits. Bobby Rafferty coming out of turn 4. He's going to have the lead, but the question is, how big of a lead is it going to be? And right now, it's looking to be over 3 seconds. Kevin Allen looking to the outside of Mike Robinson. Going to be able to make that pass. Allen up into third. If he can catch and pass Rafferty, it's going to put him equal. Oh, man, that was close. Going to put him equal with spots gained with Daniel Falkingham. However, Falkingham finishing better. He would take that extra money. Things definitely mellowing out here in Indianapolis. 113 laps complete, 114 as Falkingham crosses the line. Still over 200 miles to go. And at this point, getting into chess match territory. Falkingham has to do everything perfect, try to extend this gap. Rafferty has to try to chase him down without overdoing it, without overdoing his tires, overheating them. Still trying to save enough fuel. Yeah, I mean, these guys, they could go about 28 laps going hard. How hard do you want to go if you're the chasing car? Okay. Try to keep as much of a buffer as he can between himself and Tony Meyering. Tony's starting to close in on that number 26 machine. These cars cover the distance of a football field in a second. If you don't think... Allegedly. Interesting to note here that Bobby's shifting as soon as he gets into turns 3 and turns 1. He's shifting down into 5th. Gets up off of the corner. Gonna shift up. Not sure when he gets on the hybrid, but he's been putting down virtually equal lap times with your leader. 5/100ths different that last time around. Meanwhile, Kevin Allen, he's about a half a second off. Might have to. I actually sat right around there. Great view. Well, they have completely revamped and redone the museum. So if you haven't been there, I believe last year was the first year that they had it open after a couple of years renovation. But it is phenomenal. I mean, it is a multi-level complex. The way that they have the history organized, going through different eras of A, the Indy 500, and B, other events at the racetrack. They've got a pretty significant and extensive NASCAR section down there in the basement, too. It is truly beautiful. I mean, I had a blast when I went the first time in 17. But to go and see what they did with it after, it's just absolutely incredible. So I would definitely recommend it to anybody. If you're going to the Indy 500, make sure you get yourself a ticket to the Indy 500 or Indianapolis Museum. Joe, have you ever been to Indy Motor Speedway? You're talking to a Minnesotan. I have no sympathy. I'll buy you a beer when you do. All right. Old man, you know who won that one? It was Jeff Gordon. A little bit. You know who won the second one? Which Dale? No, it was Earnhardt 95. Jarrett 96. That's where I was like, oh, you know, because any other time you say Dale, I know which Dale you're talking about. Dale. Yeah. I was going to say, I can't say mine would help too much, but I'll be here in moral support. Try to find a graphic here, and unfortunately, Chris, this is where should have used your toys instead of what I've been using for the other one, but like a last 5 lap comparison for these guys. That is exactly what I need. Shane Cochran, good guy. Great guy, does great work, and well worth it. Sorry. Over 300 miles complete. Daniel Falkingham has led 58 of the laps that we've completed so far. 27 led by Bobby Rafferty. Mike Robinson has led 25. Miles Bagley with 18. Dale Greenwood got himself a lap lead. Unfortunately, those guys on the bottom, those lap leaders, not having the finish that they wanted. Being out of the race just after the first caution came out. Well, hindsight being 2020, I do think for an event of this type, a fast repair is definitely something that should be considered. You know, a super speedway race is a little bit different where, you know, you get somebody with 5 to go who's like, all right, I can do something dumb and just fix my car. But I don't think they do. I would assume not. I don't think I ever got the opportunity to use one, but I also think I finished all 500. For 497 and a half. Oh my goodness, we got a problem. Mike Robinson straight to the pits. Caution is out. Oh my goodness, the exact same thing. Mike is he's a little bittersweet, but he's already claiming to come back next year, which means I guess we're doing this again next year, so Mike can come back. I think we're gonna try to do some other events here on Sim Racing Media as well. Not always money races, but maybe some you know, littler ones. Try to get some of those chaotic, you know, $20 to win. Whoever shows up type of stuff. Maybe even venture into some road racing. Could you imagine? I love it when they stay close. It just doesn't always happen that way. I used to run with a group out of Sweden. Mic check. Joe, are you needed right now? Yeah, you got some business to attend to. The is that the ECR? Oh my goodness. Since that last commercial, probably. Alright, well, got it figured out, and we don't have a league owner to complain to or talk to about that, so I do apologize for that, and Joe, it was damn good to have you here. Thank you for showing up, hanging out.
Yes, sir. And it was great being in here in the booth. Chris, nice to meet you. And
You too, buddy.
we
Good
will
luck.
see you guys soon.
Bobby Rafferty spending an extended amount of time here in the pits. He's gonna get out. He honestly might have needed a bathroom break. I'm not even gonna blame him if that's what it was. Yeah, I did that before once, Chris.
Well, if we had, I'll give you a tip on that later. But if for those of us, if the mics have been muted for a little while, I just want to let everybody out there that knows that's still out there on the channel, you missed some brilliant conversation. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I do
We could
apologize
replay
for that.
So
Thank you, Mike, for letting me know.
Yeah. Allen now up to second. So look at that. Daniel Falkenham, Kevin Allen, both up 15 spots since the start of this race, running first and second. And look who's in third. Tony Myring in the 17.
Bobby Rafferty with maybe that was Michael. Definitely take a little bathroom break there.
So 5 cars left on the racetrack. Robinson looks to be out at this point. We've got Drummond still out there on the racetrack. But he finds himself about 8 laps down at this point.
Michael Self able to get back on the lead lap with that caution.
All right, let's see if Rafferty can get himself up here from 4th. Put a challenge up to Falkenham for the lead. Allen right there. Daniel was really good on the last restart. 67 laps left to go. And this kind of separates that out a little odd because we've gone about 30 laps on the stint. So we still might have to have 2 stops at this point unless, let me say that correctly, somebody up here can save some fuel and go really long here on this first stint as we go back to green flag racing.
Coming up off of turn number 2, Rafferty going to try to make a run here on Tony Myring. Moves down to the inside for 3rd.
Rafferty's been really strong early on in these stints right now. He's up on the inside of Myring, up to 3rd right now, just setting his sights on the 76 of Allen. So it's now Falkenham, Allen, and Rafferty. Myring drops down to the bottom of the racetrack, and it looks like we have Drummond in the 41 going to drive down pit road again.
Yeah, looks like he's got a black flag there on the restart. Falkenham,
right, so
Allen, now Rafferty back up to 3rd. Trying to close back in.
And Allen and Rafferty have got to keep Daniel Falkenham honest right here. Don't let him get too far away. Don't make this an easy drive for him. If he gets out there far enough, he can check up and make this a one stop here from this last stint. I don't think we're going to be able to split this in half. They would have to go 33 to 34 laps to make this one stop here till the checkered flag. It's possible, but we're going to see how it plays out.
I was going to say, I don't think that's impossible at all, and honestly, I think Rafferty might be in the best situation to do so. He's very close there to Kevin Allen, and he's going to be able to use a lot of that tow, a lot of that draft. He might not even have to shift at this point. So if he could stay in that tow, stay in line, and not lose a ton of time, that car out in front, he's using a lot more gas. You're able to save a little bit better than you used to, but he's still using a lot more, punching that hole through the air. Peaks down to the inside. That was a late move, and Allen's going to give him the lane on the bottom, thinking he was going to stick with it. This is going to help Falkenham drive away just a little bit more coming up off of 2. And now that he's around 3/4 second, that tow is going to be less important for the trailing cars. Here comes Rafferty down to the inside, this time a bit more decisive, moves all the way to the bottom, and takes away 2nd place.
Nice run from Rafferty. Started in 4th when we went back to green flag race, and now up to 2nd. Allen gave him some nice space right there on the bottom. He saw Rafferty taking a peek to the inside, moved up out. He knows that no point in doing anything crazy, stupid right here. He's in the money right now. He's on the podium position. Rafferty's been a little faster all day long. You might as well give way right here and kind of tuck in, and maybe Allen can be that driver that can stay in the draft, save some fuel, and make this a one-stop here for the last part of this race.
Rafferty just came on the radio and acknowledged the late move. He said, I wouldn't have blamed you for blocking there. But like you said, kind of gave up that position, said I'll follow you for a little bit, maybe try to utilize some fuel save. Rafferty seems to have a little bit of fire in him to try to get up there and catch the 39.
Yeah, last time around, let's take a look at the lap times. Rafferty 0.2 of a second better than the leader. So maybe Falkenham actually backing off a little bit, trying to save some fuel. With Rafferty on the charge, he is not saving fuel at this point. He is trying to catch the leader. He wants to get back out in front of this.
0.7 of a second separating first and second. Closing in just a bit more down the straightaway. How does it work out through these corners? We know how the dirty air can really affect the trailing car, but it's really working out for that trailing car right now. Bobby Rafferty going to close in to 0.4 of a second down the front straightaway. Falkingham trying to use all the hybrid he can to keep that gap, but blazing fast time there for Bobby Rafferty, a 40.59 compared to a 40.84 out of your race leader.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a little combination here. I think you're seeing Rafferty push, Falkingham lift in here a little bit. I think if you could see the in-car telemetry, you would see just that. So let's see what happens as Rafferty starts to close in. It's now less than 0.3 of a second. Rafferty closing in on the back of our leader. Through 3 and 4, off of 4 one more time right here. Let's see if Bobby Rafferty can make a run down the front straightaway.
Is Falkingham potentially letting this happen so he can try to save some fuel? Or is he just trying to slow back enough to get the dirty air? I think it's a fuel-saving game. It's either he's trying to get the dirty air on Bobby, so he's got to fight his car harder and fall back, or he's trying to let Bobby get in front of him so he can save a little bit more in the tow. But I'm leaning more towards the first option.
Well, they picked up a little bit of the pace right here this lap by Falkenham. Still about 5 car lanes now back to Rafferty. Allen lurking back here in third, is hoping. Allen's just sitting back here hoping these two get close enough together and make a mistake, and he can capitalize on it and take the lead. They're going to come across the line. There'll be 58 laps left to go this time by. And we've got ourselves a fight for the lead coming on here as Bobby Rafferty's going to take a look into one, gets a charge. I thought he might take a late lunge right there as he made up a bunch of ground right there as they entered the corner.
Yeah, I thought so too, just like he did on Kevin Allen. Oh, he's going to get loose there coming up off of 2. Almost gets into the wall, has to check up. That's going to cost him a couple tenths as he comes up off of turn number 2. 0.6 is the gap, both in front and behind of Bobby Rafferty. Daniel Falkingham commanding this race for more than half of the completed laps at this point.
5 cars still left on the lead lap right now. It's still really anybody's race. We got 57 laps left to go, but it looks like it's really going to come down here between Daniel Falkingham and Bobby Rafferty at this point. Allen's showing good pace right here, but I think it's really going to take one of these two guys up here making a mistake, getting involved for Allen to have a chance to get up here in the top 2 spots, but he is making a run down the back straightaway right here. Last time around, they were all pretty equal lap times, as you said, Liam, within about 1/10 of a second.
Bobby's got a good run here coming up off of turn 4. He's got a phenomenal tow. He's going to be able to make a run down to the inside. He sends it. Can Falkingham fight back on the outside? Bobby Rafferty takes over the race lead here on lap 145. Falkingham trying to stay close.
And we went back green flag racing about lap 133. Rafferty was in 4th at that point. He's on his way back to the front. But here comes Falkingham back to the bottom, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Falkingham back to the point. Let's see if Rafferty can fight off of 4. See if he can cross him over. Looks to the outside right here. Let's see if he gets a run off the bottom of turn 4 down the front straightaway.
He's in fighting distance now. He's closing in down the front stretch. He's not going to have enough of a run, I don't think, to be able to get there. Gets right to the rear wing, though. And that's such a tough spot to be in, Chris. When you get to the corner, you've got that run, but there's nowhere to go. There's no time to make that move. You just got to let off the throttle.
Yeah, and I'm not so certain with these cars. I've not had enough opportunity to run these. I don't know if they pick up an arrow push like we see sometimes in some of the Cup cars and trucks and stuff like that if you
yeah.
get right up behind somebody. But I would think they probably do pick up a little bit of an arrow push if you're tucked too close up behind somebody.
I would wager that's why we've seen so many cars get up into the walls by themselves. They've got a bit of a turbulent air in front of them, and the car just kind of hooks, doesn't turn. It's all about kind of how you hit that jet wash.
Yeah, and once again, last time by, lap time's almost identical for our two leaders. It looks like they're going to come up on another lap car here right in front of them. 54 laps left to go in this 146 down. And we're going to have ourselves a battle here for the rest of this race right here. If we get one more green, we're going to have at least one more stop, maybe two. We'll see how that plays, see if anybody see the strategy that's going to come into play here.
Yeah, these guys came in on 132. I'm thinking if they went 34 laps from there and were able to go to 166, then it'd be a one-stop race. But man, that's asking a lot out of your fuel cells. These guys
Well,
are
you know,
really...
it don't look like they're saving. That's kind of the thing I'm saying.
No.
If they, I think you could do it. I think you could easily save to run 33 or 34 laps. But watching the laps these guys are running out here, it doesn't look like anybody's trying to save anything. So, you know, with only 5 cars left out here, maybe they're just thinking 2 stops isn't going to be that big of a deal. As you see Rafferty now starting to back off right now of Falkenham. They come across the line this time. And let's look at the lap time. So it looks like it's going to be, yeah, I mean, almost 0.8 of a second now for Falkenham. So Rafferty looks to be backing out right here. And just maybe he's going into saver mode.
I'm kind of thinking that might be where he's at. Looked like Falkingham was definitely able to get some tow off of the car in front, but Bobby Rafferty didn't bite.
Now, that lead has grown back to a second. It was down to about 1/10 of a second at this point. After swapping the lead a couple of times, it's now back over a second. Another couple seconds back to Allen. And another 2 or 3 seconds back to the 4th place running Tony Meyering. Where is our Tony Meyering cheering squad in the YouTube chat? I haven't seen them for a while.
Hopefully they're still hanging out. Tony having a pretty good race here in the 4th position. Currently about 7 seconds off of the race lead. Falkingham leads by just about a second.
A nice solid run there from Tony. Started in 9th, up 5 spots. We see Rafferty now getting around the lap car.
Ah, they're getting the kids to bed. They got things to do, family to take care of.
Getting the kids to bed. It's only, what, 9:15 on the East Coast right now? Let the kids stay up a little late. Watch the Old Glory 500 here on SRM.
Rafferty's starting to close in just a little bit more. It's about 3/4 second right now.
Yeah, they're still running laps in the high 40s right now, which is where they've been all day long with about this many laps on the tires. The pitted lap on 132, about 19 laps on these tires.
Can they make it to that 166 number? And if not,
15 laps.
when do you start to split?
They're going to have to back out of it here a little bit or do something to save some fuel at this point if they're going to be able to make it to that point. But you know what? Most of the time when I'm trying to guess fuel mileage and strategy, it's the reason I'm up here in the booth because I'm usually guessing wrong. So these guys always make me look a little stupider than I really am. So we'll see how this plays out because we're thinking they have to make maybe 2 stops if they don't save some fuel, and they're going to surprise us and just make 1 stop at like 170 and go the rest of the way. That's usually what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if they go to 170, that's it. Game, set, match. I don't even think they have to save. If they go to 170 from here. Oh, they watch Dad race all the time. They don't care anymore. I suppose when my dad used to race, I'd fall asleep at the racetrack. So
Yeah, that
I
was
was
the same thing
also
for me.
very, very tiny.
They just used to put us in the back of the pickup truck with some blankets and just drive us home. So I've got to make like at least 1 or 2 mentions every broadcast, especially one of this length, just how old I am and so just the way things used to be, you know. All right, look at that Rafferty now back under 7/10 of a second here on the leader.
Closing in here. So, I mean, I think we're 10 laps away from a pit stop.
I would say that's about right.
12 is that magic number that I brought up, but I just don't know how possible it is.
Well, they pitted on one lap 132, where I think we're looking at pit stops around 32, 62 or 63. We did have a couple of caution flags after the pit stop before they went back to green flag racing, but Bobby Rafferty doing everything he can to not make it easy on Daniel Falkingham. Daniel's led most laps in this race. But Rafferty's right there, less than a second, less than 7/10 of a second right now, keeping him honest, not just letting him drive off into the nighttime, because then it's about 6 seconds back to Kevin. And I think what we're seeing, maybe we're seeing Kevin Allen back there. Maybe he's listening to us and he's saving fuel because he was on the same straightaway within a couple of seconds here, and he's now backed off to about 6 to 7 seconds off the leaders.
Definitely has. He's, well, I mean, he sounds at full power, but I guess that's easy to say when these guys are going 210 miles an hour through the corner.
Yeah, without the telemetry, it's kind of hard to tell. It always sounds like they're at full power in these things. 5th gear down the straightaway here.
That definitely doesn't seem like fuel save to me.
So let's see what Allen's doing right here. He's hanging on about 6.2 seconds off the leader right now at this point, but he has got the lap car Drummond right there behind him, as Myring in 4th is another 4 or 5 seconds down the road from Allen.
Lap 158.
6 cars left on the racetrack. 158 is the lap.
Yep.
158, 42 laps left to go in this race right now. Daniel Falkenham just got to run another 42 laps at about 41 seconds a lap. So what is that, about maybe 30 minutes, something like that? 35 minutes, if I'm guessing right in my head.
Yeah, it sounds about right to me. It's over 100 miles at Indianapolis yet.
But Rafferty's still right there, just about 8/10 of a second, 9/10 of a second.
These guys are
Still
trading lap
within
times
striking
back
distance.
and forth big time.
Yeah, Falkenham was faster last time by about less than a tenth, about half a tenth of a second at this point, or 5,000 or 500ths of a second, as somebody would say.
Looks like this time Falkingham able to pull it out a bit more. Maybe.
So what do you got coming up on Sim Racing Media next for you there, Liam?
Well, we've got the Icon Cup Series All-Star Race tomorrow, taking place at a special time of 7 Eastern, 6 Central, instead of the standard 8 Eastern. So that's going to be fun. Those guys are running Old Atlanta with 110% horsepower.
That could be fun. Oh,
it's
Atlanta's a little rough.
It's going to be a blast. These guys are in for a show. We've got the Open, and we've got the big show coming our way on Tuesday. We've got the Western States Racing League. Wednesday night, we've got...
At Western States, I covered a lot of races with you on that one. That's just a really fun group. Those guys have been around since, since what, computers were invented? They've been together racing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're on season 54. They've been racing since probably 2000.
I think they've been racing since NASCAR 2 back in the Pappers days on 1996.
You know, you're probably
been-
right, honestly.
30 years, I think they've been out there together.
Phenomenal group of guys, and I'm going to be racing with them in Michigan.
Oh, I got it. I might have to tune into that one.
Hopefully, I give you something good to tune into. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything about Jacob Jensen, but do my best to keep things interesting. As Tony Meyering, Michael Self came into the pits.
Laps 161. We got 34 laps. They're going to have to make another stop here. They pitted back on lap 130. They're going to come in now. Only 30 laps. Basically 29 laps on fuel. They're going to have to make a second stop here before this is over with.
That's what I'm thinking too. We'll see what these leaders can do. Out front in their own air. Rafferty falling back. Rafferty's coming in.
Rafferty. Rafferty going to dive down to the pits. Definitely, we're not saving any fuel. They look like to be charging the whole time. I mean, we're going to see, we could see these drivers having to pit with about 3 or 4 laps left to go at this point, from this point on.
It's definitely looking like it could play out that way, and we've seen that happen in the Indianapolis 500. Drivers coming in with just a few laps to go. Remember Rossi in 2016. Is there any chance somebody like Kevin Allen can get it packed full of fuel and make it to the end with 38 laps to go? Here comes race leader Daniel Falkingham.
Yeah, he's got to come in here and take tires. He can't stay out there. We saw this earlier as well. The undercut would be pretty strong if he tried to stay out there too long, but also I'm guessing they stretched that mileage as far as they possibly could. They wanted to see if they could just make it one stop from that last caution flag. As Daniel's coming in here on lap 163. He's going to have 32 laps left to go when we go back to green flag racing. Or, well, excuse me, once he goes back out onto the racetrack, we are green flag racing.
Really good by Falkingham in and out of pit lane. He's going to get up off of the pits.
Yeah, we didn't even see
Right
Rafferty in
as-
the picture.
Right as Rafferty comes up off of Ford. Rafferty at speed. Remember, Daniel Falkingham can't go over that white line. He doesn't even cut it close, though.
Looks like he's going to have a 2 or 3 second lead. He just comes back up to speed here at this point. You can see Rafferty just now coming off a 2. As Falkingham comes up onto the racetrack, it's about 4 seconds now at this point. But Rafferty's got a big head of steam. Can he make up any ground? It looks like Falkingham's going to get up to speed. They're going to have about a 3 to 3.5 second advantage.
Falkingham back up to speed. It's about 3.7 seconds between first and second. Now Falkingham's in a position where he could potentially think about laying back, trying to make it to the end. He's got one more lap than everybody else does.
Yeah, the few green flag runs that we've had, we've not seen anybody really stretch it any further than about 30 laps. That seems to be about the maximum. We've got 32 left to go. Or excuse me, 36 laps left to go right now out of the 200. So definitely going to have to make one more stop.
Yeah, it's looking that way. I'm trying to find a way around it, but I think we're going to need to make that last pit stop.
Yeah. You'd have to be running half throttle around here probably to stretch out to 37 laps. So we're definitely going to have one more stop. I don't think fuel mileage is going to come into play at this point. It's just going to be, can we stay green flag racing? We've only got, 5 cars left out on the racetrack right now. We've had a nice long green flag run. Last caution was way back somewhere around about lap 130.
Yeah, I think 131 was the last caution. Or 131.
Yeah, Robinson. Yeah, Robinson on that Robinson crash. We've gone 34 laps now since we went back to green flag racing from Robinson. It's a shame for Robinson. He was having a good day.
Yeah, it really is. We're going to go ahead and step side by side one more time. We'll be right back with the finish of the Old Glory 500.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Back live here in Indianapolis, Falkingham running away with it. It's 5.5 seconds with 29 laps to go. I'm Liam Irving, got Chris Murphy up here with me, hanging out for the Indianapolis, well, for the Old Glory 500 at Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's been a good one here, Liam. Unfortunately, we're down to just a few cars left in this field, but we've got some good racing going on up here. Daniel Falkingham now about almost 5.5 seconds to 6 seconds back to Rafferty. Does Rafferty have anything left in the tank here at the end? Is he just hanging back, trying to save some fuel, trying to stretch this thing out?
We shall see. Long way to go here. 5.7 seconds separating first and second. Let's see if we can go back and take a look at some of the events that got us to this point. So on the opening pace lap here, Sam Hesketh. Oh, there was a checkup in front of him and he hit the brakes. That's what happened. Turns him into the outside wall.
Yeah, I am not able to see these replays with you, so.
Oh. Trey
There's something
Whitehead
about
gets into the wall.
there's something about when you go too far back in the replays in time, my screen just flickers, so it's kind of weird.
I've definitely had that happen. See why Dubois jumped to the pits. But Du Bois, he had some problems. First caution of the race happened when Charles Whitehead made a little bit of contact with the outside wall. It sent him all the way into the inside wall. And then Miles Bagley and Dale Greenwood. As we're coming to this caution, quite literally, this is happening at the same time as that Whitehead crash. The 09 gets up into the wall, spins out off of 4. Hits the inside wall a ton and back up out of the racetrack. Matt Metler and Gary Wells get together on a restart. A couple of teammates puts Metler up into the air. Kind of the same story. Same story we've seen all day. A little bit of a wall tag. Getting the guy all the way down to the inside wall and bouncing him back up onto the racetrack. And then one of the wilder incidents of the day, Brock Whitehead goes up in the air and rides the wall like Casey Kane or Martin Truex or Herbie Fully Loaded.
Herbie Fully Loaded? That's a callback.
Sometimes you have to.
One of my favorite movies ever.
Ian Adams got the wall. Got the wall again. Spun back up the racetrack to bring out what was the next to most recent caution. And then Mike Robinson running up in the top 3. Does the same thing, just a little bit of contact right where that safer barrier ends. Sends that car into the inside wall and back out onto the racetrack. Kevin Allen, Tony Meyering, Michael Self, all deciding to make the pit stop now. They're not going to wait until the end. Maybe these fresh tires could give them an advantage.
Yeah, I was noticing that we're going back to the replay that these drivers are going to come in and pit here pretty early. We're going to see how this works. But I don't think it's going to make too big of a difference here for our 2 leaders. As Hockenham now about 7.5 seconds out in front of Rafferty now.
And now that Falkingham is out on his own, there's not a lot of tow behind him. He's really able to extend this gap, and he has been phenomenal throughout the course of these last 8 or so laps. So we have 20 laps to go in the Old Glory 500.
Coming up on the lap car, that's the 41 of Drummond down on the bottom of the racetrack. He just moves over and gets out of the way. He knows his fight isn't with our leader, Daniel Falkingham. Kevin Allen and Meyering and Self, like you said, all pitted here. We got 2 cars now on the lead lap right at this point. They pitted back on lap 163. So it could go probably about another 8 to 10 laps. We'll see who does down the pits here first, who blinks first. But at this point, with the amount of gap that's in between our leaders here at almost 8 seconds, the undercut's pretty much out of the picture at this point for Rafferty. And they're definitely not saving any fuel at this point. 225, 226 mile an hour down into the corner for Rafferty.
Jumping down into 5th gear at that, too.
So 77 of Bobby Raff putting on a charge right here, trying to make up some ground, but he has got a long way to go to get, you know, if he's going to put any kind of challenge on our leader here in the 39.
That time by, he was a couple tenths quicker than Falkingham. Falkingham just had to get around. I thought he had a lapped car to get around, but...
Yeah, he got around Drummond just a few laps ago.
Daniel
18 laps
Falkingham.
left to go.
Yep. Sorry.
That's all right. No worries.
18 laps to go indeed. Into the
We used to
final
spend every
50
Tuesday.
miles.
Yeah, I was gonna say we used to spend every Tuesday night together. We got to get, you know, first time back together in a while.
A little bit of ring rust, some wrestling fans would say.
All right, across the line is gonna be 17 to go, and you see Rafferty way off in the back, in the distance back there, just now coming off the corner as Daniel Falkenham makes his way into turn number 1. This is all Falkenham's race right now. He's just got make 17 more laps without a mistake, get into the pits for this last stop without a mistake. Doesn't take much to get in there, get a black flag, speed in or out of the pits. I tend to do it every single time, so I know how easy it is.
I feel like these Indy cars have a bit of a benefit because they've got that pit speed limiter. You get that button set, you're able to just jump right to pit speed. You can't go any faster. As long as you get it down in time, golden.
That sounds almost like cheating.
Well, I mean, if they give you the option.
Well, I did say that earlier, right? If you do have the option, you might as well use it. I guess I can't be a hypocrite now. If I could.
Next time we get up into a next-gen race, just put a little bit of tape over your lights. Figure out your pits by sound.
Put tape over the lights?
Yeah, they've got the dash lights, you know. Turn colors when you're on pit lane to tell you if you're speeding or not.
I just usually look at the mile per hour. I guess I should look at that. I'm just a dirt track racer. We don't have that kind of stuff, you know.
That's fair. Yeah, if you're in the pits in a dirt track, you're hurting her at the race. You're not getting tires and fuel, you're getting some serious work done. Or getting told you can't go back.
You can change a tire every once in a while, but you're usually done by that point. All right, pit stop made on lap 162 to 63. We're 24 laps since our pit stops. We got 14 left to go. Falkenham now over 8.5 seconds out in front of Rafferty. Looking at the lap times, Rafferty is still pushing though. He's only lap times are only about 2 tenths of a second difference at this point, even
And
for our
Kevin
top
Allen.
3.
I was going to say, Kevin Allen, until that last lap, was putting down pretty close lap times to what your leaders were.
And I'm really surprised if he took tires on that pit stop that he's not running a little bit quicker. So the tire differential maybe not that big here, since you're only running about 20 to 30 laps on him.
Well, if you're Daniel Falkingham, it's huge because your fastest lap was a 40-14, and you know when you put almost 30 laps on your tires, you're running about a 41-20. So I mean that's about a second difference. Right now it was a 40-75, but he has had a lot of clean air for the better portion of this last run.
Yeah, he's pretty much. I know it's only Saturday, but he's pretty much out there on a Sunday drive at this point. Gonna come off of turn number 4, come across the line, be 12 laps left to go this time by. Once again, thanks to everybody that's joined us here tonight. I know it's, what is it? Coming up on 10 o'clock on the East Coast on a Saturday night.
Yeah, just about.
Look at me doing math in my head.
Yeah, Mr. West Coast trying to figure out East Coast.
Gotta live. Let's think about this world. There's so many of the drivers and people that are on the sim here that are on the East Coast. You pretty much just gotta live in East Coast time, unless you start doing some European stuff, which I have done a little bit here and there, and you start living on the UK time, which is even more challenging to figure out for us Yanks, as they would call us.
I was gonna bring it up earlier when we were talking about road racing, but I used to work with a group when I worked on overnights. We did a series called Svenska. It was a bunch of Swedish guys running road racing in Europe, and that was an absolute blast, and it was so much fun. They always put on an amazing show. The racing was great, and like you had mentioned, if you get with the right group, I mean, it is picture perfect. But they just loved, like, they would not give us any pronunciation because they loved to hear Americans butcher their names.
Yeah, that's and here comes Rafferty down pit road.
Oh, whoa,
we got somebody. Is that Drummond?
Drummond sideways.
Yeah, spins it. It looked like some parts land in the pit road right there. So a mistake there for Drummond. He's back there in 6th. He is the last car on the racetrack right there.
He's missing the left side of his front wing.
Yep. So damage there on the 41. Let's see if he comes back down pit road. That's not going to be easy to turn. He's going to have to
now. That's a penalty.
Did he get a black flag for drifting over the white line? I don't see.
It hasn't happened yet.
I do not see the black flag on the time.
Just saw him clip the grass there. No black flag, but he's definitely aware of that damage. He's going to have to come back and get that front wing replaced.
Yeah, Myron going to go by him on the outside, put him another lap down. Falcon him down pit road.
Phenomenal getting away. Kevin Allen unlaps himself. Rafferty, he's still a ton of time behind.
Yeah, Daniel Falcon is going to put a little more distance on Rafferty at this point. 0.8 of a second better on the pit stop. Over a second and a half cut into the time, or extended the time here on Rafferty on his time in and out of the pits as well.
He gained a ton of time.
So now it is 14, 15 seconds here. He's coming back up to speed. Let's see where that settles down. That's going to settle down somewhere around 12 to 13 seconds would be my guess at this point. So Rafferty's going to have to hope for a miracle here if he's going to have a chance to win this race. He led quite a bit of it off and on. Some good battles going on up front, but he is now 13 seconds, almost 13 and a half seconds now away from the leader, Daniel Falcon. I'm starting to sail off into the night.
Bobby knows how strong he can be on a restart, but doesn't really look like one of those is coming his way. He's got a long way to go. And Daniel Falkingham is one of these drivers that doesn't make mistakes under pressure. If you give him one of these, like you said, Sunday drives, he's gone.
Yeah, just out there on a cruise right now. But pretty much everybody on the racetrack everybody's settled in where they are. There's a big gap between all of our top 4 drivers. And you can see just up the road, Tony Myron about to go a lap down as the 39 of Falcon starts to close in on him about a half a straightaway distance here with 7 to go.
Just 7 laps to go in a 500-mile event. We have seen attrition from the grid. Not even the drop of the green flag. We have seen attrition from the get-go. Single car incidents have been mostly the name of the game, but a couple of multi-car incidents have happened.
Yeah, Tony Myron doing a great job. It looks like he's going to come home here in 4th. He's on the last car on the lead lap right now. So good job from Tony there in the 17.
Doing pretty good, up 5 spots from where he started. Drummond still on pit lane after losing that front wing. Falkingham coming to 5 laps to go, Chris.
Full 5. Let's see Barney. Where's Barney not putting his hand out there telling him 5 to go? after just waving the full hand of fingers at him. But 5 to go for Daniel Falkingham this time around. Rafferty now over 14 seconds back.
Bobby looking to be pretty content with the second place right now.
And he's been the most consistent really all day. He started in third. He's ran in the top 3 all day long. We saw Falkingham, if you could see his chart, if it went far enough back, you would see he's been up and down throughout the field. But Bobby, and actually, yeah, it only goes back a few laps, so he's just a straight line across the top. But Rafferty started up front and stayed there all day long, but he's going to have to come home with second. I know he would like to be one spot better. He put up a good fight earlier, some great racing with himself and Mike Robinson. But right now, it's all on the 39 as he is now, what is it, about almost 14 and a half seconds out in front.
It really has been an ass whooping put on by Daniel Falkingham here today. And you kind of thought that might happen, but he started at the back. It seemed like his goal might be to get the hard charger bonus, take the lead by halfway, and just never look back. If that was his plan, he has succeeded.
Well, I think what really helped him out there, too, is the attrition, right? We had some good cars fall out of this race. You know, Bagley looked to be running strong earlier, Greenwood as well. Robinson all had some pretty good strong runs going on early on. They fall out of this race. You know, the competition, kind of eased up a little bit. Rafferty put up a hell of a fight there for quite a long time, but here in the end, just could not hang on up here in the front with the lead. As we're going to come around 2.5 laps left to go at this point. Actually off of turn number 4 as Daniel looks to put a lap on Myring across the line. 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air, as our good friend Dave Regal would say.
Just 5 miles left in the Old Glory 500, and I tell you what, it's got to be a sketchy spot as the leader coming through turn 4 with a lapped car just in front of you. We've seen how disastrous that can go, but Daniel Falkingham is not worried. He just put down the fastest lap of the race with a 40-12 using the toe of that Tony Myring machine. He's going to come through turns 3 and 4. He's going to come off and take the white flag, and, well, Chris, with a 15.5-second gap, good luck.
Yeah, he can breathe easy right here across the line. White flag in the air. 2.5 miles left to go for Daniel Falkingham, Bobby Rafferty, and Kevin Allen. That is our top 3, all 3 cars on the lead lap. As you see Allen back there in the 76, but off of turn number 2. Just a half a lap left to go for the 39.
Daniel Falkingham showing us exactly what he has shown the iRacing world over these last couple of months, even years. He is consistent. He is fast. He's definitely worthy of being a Coke Series driver. And now he has won a 500-mile race in Indianapolis. Daniel Falkingham gets it done for the Old Glory 500.
Fantastic drive there all day long. Just put on a school. Daniel Falkingham with the win. Over 15 seconds out in front. Fantastic race here today. Liam, you guys put on a good show. Happy to be here with you. Thank you so much for the invite, my friend. And we got to watch a great race. Even though there's only 5 cars left at the end, it was still a great race all the way throughout.
Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. I'm super stoked. It was super cool to be able to watch an extra 500 miles here at Indianapolis, but to watch that whooping that Daniel Falkingham put on, that's something special.
Well, I have got to go jump on the jet and head to Daytona, my friend, but I want to thank you so much for having me tonight. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we get a chance to work together in the future. But congratulations to our drivers here tonight. Congratulations to Daniel, Bobby, Kevin, Tony, and Michael here finishing all in the top 5. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and let you handle the rest of the festivities, my friend.
Awesome stuff, man. Thank you again for all of your help. This is a phenomenal show, and really glad to have you here. Have fun in Daytona.
All right, there, man. See you later.
Daniel Falkingham gets it done here in Indianapolis. He's not going to burn it down here yet. See if we can get with any of our top three here. We got Kevin Allen up in the waiting room. Kevin, it's Liam up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Oh man, I tell you what, it was a long, hard-fought 500 miles, and you come home in third. What was it like out there in your perspective? I know there was a lot of attrition, and things kind of got separated out pretty early, but what was it like out there in your perspective?
Oh, yeah, for sure. A lot of attrition. And from my perspective, it was pretty tight for most of the race, which is normal for these cars. My strat was just ride, get what I can. There were some really fast guys in here. Daniel and Bobby, especially, those guys were super quick. I was just trying to keep up with them. And yeah, I just tried to get what I could out of the car and got a third place out of it. So pretty satisfied by that. Definitely a long race. I need to rest my arms for a little bit after that one, but it was really fun.
It was a lot of fun to watch, and it seemed like you were really getting some good battles in there with Michael Self, Tony Meyering, Dwayne Drummond there for a little bit. What was the toughest thing about this race, especially in terms of traffic? It seemed like dirty air was kind of a plague for a lot of drivers.
Oh yeah, definitely dirty air for sure. It's just one corner you think you're gonna make it, and then you get on the next corner, and next thing you know, you're about to hit the wall, which unfortunately some guys did. And yeah, that was the hardest part, just trying to stay focused enough to not hit the wall on exit, because that's super easy to do in traffic, and just keep the focus during a long race. Like long green flag runs, gotta nail your pit stops, all of that combined makes it a pretty hard attrition style race.
Well, you performed well, and first off, I want to thank you for being here. This is one of my first times doing this, so it's amazing to see how many people showed up, and I want to thank you so much for being here. But before I don't need to do the thanking. Who do you want to thank for such a strong run here today, getting it done, third place in Indianapolis?
I think my teammate Dwayne Drummond, he unfortunately got caught up in something early on in the race, and still got a good finish. And of course, want to thank you and whoever. S team, is that what it's called? I'm still new here. I'm trying to figure out names.
Sim Racing Media.
Sim Racing Media, yeah. Thank you guys for putting this on. I'll be honest, for this being one of your first mini races, you did a great job, and definitely something I want to come back to in the future. And want to thank Matt Metler for recommending this race to me, showing it to me, and paying my entry. Couldn't be here without him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Shout out to Daniel for the win. He was class to field the whole race. And yeah, once again, thanks for broadcasting it, putting it on, and I'll for sure be back next time.
Awesome stuff, man. Well, keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully we'll have some more events coming soon, and some more big events in the near future as well. But thank you so much for being here, and congrats on the third place finish after 500 miles.
Appreciate it, man. It was a blast. I'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. All right, now we're going to bring in our race winner. After he's finally finished up some of those victory lane celebrations. Daniel, it's Liam up in the booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well, man, you've put a total whooping on this field here today, but it kind of seemed like, at least for the beginning part of it, you were struggling in dirty air. What was the difference in dirty air and clean air, and were you actually struggling, or was that maybe just a fuel-saving ploy?
A little bit. I'd say it was a little bit of both, because like this fixed setup that we ran tonight, it was the same one that was ran in the iRacing Indy 500, the fixed Indy 500 last week that I took part in, and it pretty much felt the same way, except like the conditions were a little bit different. I don't know how much. I think it was a little bit more gustier little bit more wind because like it was really really bad, especially going down to turn 1. I don't know if we just had a big tailwind made us go faster, or which way the wind was blowing. I didn't get to check all that out. But yeah, it was definitely a struggle, but that's just the way, just kind of the way the setup drives with just how like the ride heights are. It's just so hard to follow somebody with the current fixed set. But I mean, yeah, definitely had to deal with it right there. But I try to take the advantage, or try to take the time to try to fuel save a little bit while I was in dirty air, but try not to fall too far back where I lose some slipstream from the guy in front. But yeah, once we got out front, once I knew I could kind of manage the field up front and hit the fuel numbers I needed to, like I knew, like, no, we were not losing this race unless it came down to like a late race restart where you were just a sitting duck. So, but yeah, shout out to the guys for the race tonight. I know I wish it was a little bit cleaner, but with how much of a different animal this is the same, I kind of expected all the caution because everyone seemed like we're all crashing in the same area in turn 1 where it really was the most tight, most of the night when you're in dirty air. So, but yeah, wish it was a little cleaner, but you'll have that. But yeah, just glad we could hang on and glad we could have a nice long green flag run in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you put together an awesome showing here. You had some good battles side by side, wheel to wheel with Bobby Rafferty, and I believe there for a little while with Mike Robinson as well. What was it like out there going side by side, trading the lead back and forth?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. Definitely, Bobby was definitely keeping me on my toes for the majority of the night, especially on them restarts. Swapping the lead back and forth. Then it was really key for me to get the lead when I needed to, because once the tires got a little bit of wear on them, then having that clean air was going to be very, very key. And thankfully, we got the lead at the right times where we could just kind of just control the race in clean air, manage our fuel, and just kind of manage our gap. And it all worked out because we were able to get at least like a lap overcut on the guys that pitted behind us. And from there, I knew after that cycle, I knew we just had to keep this thing in the wind and just keep all 4 tires on the ground. And thankfully, it worked out. So, but yeah, definitely fun trading the lead there with Bobby there. But like I said, he kept me honest on them restarts, and I really had to make sure I didn't, lose my cool there, and try to make sure I didn't screw up myself where I put myself in a bad position. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. But just glad we could come out on top.
Well, Daniel, I want to thank you for showing up for this race. I know you do a lot on these iRacing money races too, and you're pretty successful, but I want to thank you for showing up. This is kind of my first time doing one of these things, and I mean, the turnout was great. The racing was phenomenal, and so I just want to thank you for being here. But enough about me thanking people. Who do you want to thank for keeping you so fast all the time, and what does the future have for you?
Yeah, well, we got the Coke Series starting up Tuesday night, so hopefully we can have a good season going into that. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to that. But yeah, big thanks to Matt Metler, who actually let me know about this race. I didn't even know this was going on until like last night or a couple days ago. So shout out to him for giving me the invite to come over and do this. Shout out to the field we had tonight. I know probably wasn't the biggest field in the world, but enough guys to come out and put on a decent race. But it was definitely a lot of attrition, but you'll have that. But yeah, thanks to you guys broadcasting, and thanks to the whole group who puts us on, and thanks to everyone watching.
Well, awesome stuff, man. Thank you again, and congratulations on your $100 for winning, your $50 for being the hard charger, and your other $50 for being the halfway leader. A pretty big night for you.
Yeah, I say we did a nice good old clean sweep tonight, so it's that's always good.
Yes, sir. Well, congrats again. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, thanks. You have a good one.
All right, now we'll bring in second place, a little bit topsy-turvy with our interview order, but Bobby Rafferty, second place. Man, you threw together a hell of a race, but in the end, once those green flag cycles came out, what more do you think you could have done to keep that 39 a little bit more honest?
Absolutely nothing. That's what the difference right there between a pro driver and a guy that does it for fun and races whenever he has time. I mean, you saw the difference right there. Did everything I could to keep him honest, but that last run we were talking about, he started playing with the weight jacker to get the rear wing out from the air, and it definitely paid dividends. He was averaging, I don't know, depending on the lap, 3 to 5 tenths quicker a lap than me, and I knew there was no way. Even if I got to him, there was no way I was going to be able to get back around him. So just kind of at the end, I didn't even bother with using any of the boost or anything, and just tried to maintain and make clean laps and bring her home.
Well, you did a great job at that, but you also did a great job on the outside, and I want to commend you for. I mean, you made 2 or 3 moves on the outside that I was like, "That's Joseph Newgarden on Padua Ward in 2023 or 20."
I appreciate that, man. That's actually pretty cool to hear. Though, yeah, it's believe it or not, a lot easier to make those outside moves than you would think because you're getting that clean air on the wings and it'll stick. So, and especially if you could not, I don't want to say pinch the guy, but keep the guy honest down there and not let him push you up. 9 times out of 10, they're going to have to lift. So,
Well, you threw together a masterclass on the outside, and especially on restarts too. I want to thank you for being here, and especially for everything AWG has done for this race. Joked a little bit around that halfway point that every time Falkingham passed you, he was reaching into your pocket and taking money. But
yeah, he took it all.
I appreciate what you guys have done for this race, and I can't thank you enough for being a part of it, and I commend you on your efforts to A, hold on to that outside because that was awesome, and B, coming home second. But
No, absolutely, and I'm glad we could put on a show for you guys. We we want to, as a team, want to thank you for putting this event on, and it'll definitely continue to grow. You did an awesome job for this being the first one that you've done, and we will definitely be back as long as you're putting them on. The team will definitely be here to support it.
Well, awesome stuff. Well, that's enough of me being mushy-gushy. What's next for you in Ancient World Gaming, and who do you want to thank for such a strong run here today in Indianapolis?
Well, for me, it's going to be more of the same. I just got back on a sim maybe about a month or 2 ago, after over a year away, and between work and my absolutely beautiful girlfriend, we're going to be expecting a child come October. So
Congrats!
I appreciate it, but me behind the wheel itself is going to be far and few in between when I have time and when stuff like this I'll definitely jump on. We're hot and heavy still into the endurance race and stuff. That seems to be our bread and butter. I run league stuff here and there, but for me personally, it'll be far and few in between. It's more of a matter of when I get time, but obviously got to thank the team, Ancient World Gaming. I got to thank all of our partners, Sword Dog, Next Level Racing, Rogue Energy, Brucey Raceware, all of our partners that help us out and support us and help us with the team, man. We've got some really cool discount codes. If you look up our Linktree, Ancient World Gaming GG, you get discounts for,
by the way.
Yep, you get
go ahead and
discounts
click on
for everything. The one that I probably will say is the 2 that are my personal favorite. I absolutely love this Next Level rig that I have. It was a legitimate game changer, and then Rogue Energy has been a great supporter of ours, and same with Sword Dog. But Rogue Energy, I used to be a huge Monster guy. Rogue blows it out of the water, whether it's energy drinks or the hydration drinks are absolutely freaking phenomenal. So I urge everybody to go out there and check those out. They're pretty inexpensive for what you get, and you don't get the jitters and the crash and all that other crap. And here I am sounding like an infomercial, but I will 100% back them. Renee will even tell you. Sometimes I will tell you how I feel when it's not the right time. I'm not one that will lie, and they definitely got a great product.
Well, awesome stuff, man. You have a great product as well. You don't look like you've missed much of a step after taking a year off of sim, so hopefully you can still have some fun and get yourself some wins here when you are able to get behind the wheel.
Yeah, we'll get back to it, but like I said, with the baby on the way, and our other 3 little ones, that'll always take priority. I did my 20 years in real life and got my wins there. This is kind of a, hey, I want to scratch that itch. Let's jump on and have some fun.
Absolutely. Well, looks like you had some fun tonight. We'll go ahead and let you celebrate with the fam and congrats again on a second place finish. Thank you for being here.
Nah, I appreciate you, Liam. You have yourself a great night, bud.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, that's going to about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. This has been an absolute blast. I cannot thank everybody enough for being a part of this. I know I had myself a little bit of a debacle with the microphone on my partners for a little bit in the middle of the race. But in terms of trying to keep a race together and throw it together, a lot of help came from Matt Metler. Cannot thank him enough for his recruiting efforts. Like Daniel said, he didn't even know about this race until the other night, which means there's a bit more that I have to learn about getting these things out there. But truly has been a phenomenal experience, and I cannot wait to do more of these. Think we're going to do some, just Saturday fun races type of deals, but sprinkle some money races in as well. Let's go through the results before I keep on keeping on. Getting it done today, Daniel Falkingham led 130 laps. Bobby Rafferty in second place, Kevin Allen in third. 200 goes to the winner because he gets both of your bonuses, the Hard Charger Award and the Halfway Leader Award, both sponsored by Ancient World Gaming. Fourth place was Tony Meyering. Michael Self in fifth, Dwayne Drummond, Mike Robinson, Ian Adams, Brock Whitehead, and Jeffrey Goodpaster will round out the drivers in the top 10, also getting their entry fees back. Matt Metler in 11th, Gary Wells, Toll Owen, Dale Greenwood, Miles Bagley, Charles Whitehead, Anthony Trippi, Eric Dubois, Trey Whitehead, and Sam Hesketh round out the field. 200 laps, 500 miles. 3 different lead changes on green flag conditions, at least, across the line. We saw numerous lead changes down the back straightaway that got taken back. 7 cautions today for 21 total laps. All of those cautions took place... Well, most of those cautions took place within lap 20 and lap 60. Most laps led, Daniel Falkingham. Fastest lap of the race, also Daniel. Pole position, though, went to Dale Greenwood. So, as always, can't thank you guys enough for tuning in live here on Sim Racing Media. It has been an absolute blast, and we love you so much for tuning in. This is a dream come true for me. So, sorry for getting sappy. It's really cool to be able to do this. Well, I hope you all have a phenomenal night. And quote a few people I like. To quote Cletus, do it for Dale and be like Biff. To quote our good friend Tony, as you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, folks.